Am I live? I believe I am live. Let me see. Is this live? I don't know. I think it is. Is this live? I don't know. Yes, it is. Yay. Hi, everybody. What's going on? Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Stacey Storino from Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill. But today I am here with my own self-named channel, the Stacey Storino YouTube channel. So I know I invited a whole bunch of my students to come here. So I hope that you guys are here. Hashtag live, hashtag replay. That really does help me out. I do like to see whether you're a student of mine already or you're someone that's just discovering me new on YouTube. Guess what? You're here now. So welcome to Stacey Storino Live, the #1 place on the internet to learn about content marketing via social media as an entrepreneur mom, an entrepreneur parent, while you're also, networking with other entrepreneur parents and having an awesome time doing it down in the chat below. Make sure you subscribe and hit that bell notification and select all so that you don't miss any of the lives that I put out or any of the other pre-recorded content that I share out to this YouTube channel. It's going to help you even if you're an entrepreneur and not an entrepreneur parent. Okay, so my name is Stacey, and I'm going to be answering your social media questions today. So be sure to put your questions down in the chat, and I'll be happy to answer them. I'm going to try and handle them in the order that they come in. As you early birds come in here, the ones that are hanging out in the live stream already, make sure that you go ahead and put your question in now, because I'll answer them again in the order that they're received to the best of my ability, which means that you have a really good chance at getting your question answered on the stream today. I also want to let you know that this stream is brought to you by Flick Tech, the #1 third-party hashtag optimization tool that I seriously cannot live without. I use it on the daily or pretty darn close to it. It'll help you to optimize your hashtags for posts that you do on Instagram and even Twitter and TikTok and Instagram Reels now. So, it'll help you, to optimize your hashtags and your content so that the content that corresponds with your hashtags can be found more easily in general via organic search. It might be more likely to be pushed out into suggested. Flick will help you to optimize your content for discovery. It's so awesome. You can see how competitive each hashtag is that you want to use. You can see how many people have used that particular hashtag recently. Was a particular hashtag popular before, but it's not now, and maybe you shouldn't use it. What kind of hashtags tend to have the most engagement on them? And engagement is key if you want to optimize your Instagram account. For example, or even on Twitter, the more engagement that you get, the better. This is a third-party app for Instagram, but myself and my students who have used Flick do notice that it's really useful for other platforms besides Instagram too. It's a huge time saver. There's no point in publishing content on Instagram or anywhere else. You're not going to optimize it properly, especially where hashtags come into play. So there's a link to, Flick down below in the description, or you can go to flick.tech/? FPR equals Stacey Storino. That's Stacey with an EY, STORINO. Give it a shot. It's free to try for 7 days, and you're going to want to keep it because once you see what's on the inside, once you see the power of this tool and how it can help to increase your visibility, both in your followers' feeds and how you can be found better organically in search, you're going to be addicted. All right, let's see who's here. Andrew George. Hi, Stacey. Hi, Live. Kismet and Moxie. Hashtag live student. Yup. Debbie Parsley and a student. Hashtag live. Good morning. Sarah Sakir, student. Hello. Marissa Parsons. Good morning. Hashtag live. Woohoo. Jacqueline Fatika. What's going on? Hey, Stacey. Hey, girl. What's going on? Wicked Griffin. Transformational Healing by Donna. Hello, Donna. Jacqueline says, I got combined 10,000 views on my only 3 reels. Holy cow, Jacqueline, what was I telling you in probably Socialgram shortcut? Oh my goodness. And I feel bad because the day that it dropped, you couldn't get to it. I think there were a lot of glitchy things going on when Instagram rolled out Reels. I'm going to discuss that in a minute, but congratulations to you. High five, fist bump for getting that combined 10,000 views on your only 3 reels. There are a lot of people who don't even know about Reels yet on Instagram. There's a lot of people who don't even know how to find it. They're not sure how to use it. They're not sure why they would use up to 15-second short form content marketing. We're going to be talking about that today. L's Elations. Good morning. Good morning, Catherine Barillo. Hashtag live. Hey, girl. Hashtag live. It's Taryn. School time me now. Good morning. Good morning. I still don't have music on my reels. We're going to discuss why that might be a possibility in a minute. Stitchwork staff account. Hashtag live. What's going on? All right. Do you guys have any particular questions about Instagram Reels, Facebook marketing, even YouTube? I mean, I just hit 1,000 plus subs on YouTube. I did it as of late yesterday. So that's like a really huge thing for those of you that are working on having, YouTube channels. That's not easy. It's really a very mature platform as well. As I'm sure you're well aware, we're talking about a platform that has been around for way in excess of a decade. Same thing with Facebook. It does not mean that you can't market and sell very well on YouTube. YouTube has features that makes it feel like it's a social media platform, but it's really the second largest search engine on planet Earth, right behind Google. Google doesn't own YouTube anymore. I've been a lawyer since 1998, so I know that. Alphabet's an umbrella company that owns both Google and YouTube as sister parallel companies, but they're still the two largest search engines on Earth. So lots of thoughts here. Hold on, let me just see. Jacqueline says, do you think as business accounts we won't get music? A lot of things are in development right now with Instagram Reels. I will say that I think that in time they will definitely allow you. It's going to be more like how it is on TikTok. So with TikTok, if you're a business account and not a personal account, a business account will have access to plenty of music, just not as much as a personal account. But I think that you need to be the business version of any account that you're on when it comes to, like, say, social media, like Instagram. You really should have a business account and not a personal one if you're going to do business from there. And I'll tell you why in a minute. Same thing with TikTok. I think you need to go pro or go professional on TikTok. Why? Even though there's a trade-off with some less music, it's usually like a permissions thing. It's a royalty thing when you use something for profit. There's usually a lot of restrictions. You might have to sign contracts, or in this case, there's a lot more contractual negotiation that the social media platform has to do to be able to see. This is where being a lawyer comes in handy. There's a lot of things that the platform owner, like in this case, Instagram, has to do, or even TikTok, to be able to get more and more music on for use for either Reels or TikTok. Now, if you're a business profile, say on Instagram, you may or may not have access to the music sticker, depending upon where you are in the world, because that's another wrinkle that comes into play. Depending upon where you are, even in the United States, let alone elsewhere in the world, there's a different laws and permissions and stuff. It's a long story, but it all has to get worked out. I think Instagram was only planning on like slowly releasing Reels country by country. So it was originally in like Brazil and France and Germany, and things are painting with a broad brush a lot easier to do in those countries in terms of like laws and royalties and permissions and stuff. So they're also, in terms of their social media usage, they tend to be smaller or less so as compared to like, say, the United States or India. The US and India and China tend to be like huge consumers of social media, and they also tend to be huge creators as well, especially between the US and China. There were the top two users of TikTok. Now, well over a month ago, it might be getting close to 2 months ago, TikTok had a countrywide ban on India had a countrywide ban on TikTok, but now, as I understand it, in some areas it's opening back up again. India didn't just ban TikTok, like, say, 2 months ago. It banned 58 other apps too, all over security concerns, but there's no like smoking gun, because believe me, if there was, it would be all over national and international news like nobody's business. So I don't think anybody's hand specifically got caught in the cookie jar, because they would definitely be outing that to the public to protect them. So I think they're just concerned. That's different than actual problems. And so let's see, I want to make sure. So I do think that in time you will get music. And on TikTok, as long as that's allowed to stay in the United States right now, President Trump has said that he's going to consider a ban as late as September 15th. He was going to put a ban on it way, way earlier than that, but Microsoft was about a week to 2 weeks into contractual talks with the owners of TikTok. The owning holding company is ByteDance over, yes, in communist China. So, there's a whole lot of complications and wrinkles when you're doing a corporate purchase. I used to represent two biggest names that I represented, Rockefeller Center and the Arizona Beverage Brand. For the Arizona Beverage Brand, we would deal with all sorts of contractual stuff that they would have within the United States. That can be crazy alone. Then when you're going national and international, there's legal compliance and tax wrinkles. It gets even harder. It gets even worse. So, I know that Microsoft was in talks to purchase TikTok away from ByteDance. And that's nothing that's going to happen like in a week to 2 weeks or something like that. So I think that had a lot to do with why President Trump pushed over his potential ban of it until mid-September. My guess there, because I know people are going to ask, is if Microsoft and ByteDance are like really, really close and they're just working out legal compliance and tax like wrinkles and stuff like that, and they're just nailing everything down for a contract signing ceremony, as we lawyers like to call it, then I'm sure Trump's going to give them extra time to do that. If they're really, really close, he's a businessman, like him or don't like him. This is not a place for politics. Okay. But I'm just saying, I think that if they're very, very close, he'll give them extra time to let them finish it out. Once TikTok is a wholly owned US company, I think a lot of the concerns about communist China as a holding company for TikTok will go away. Because I have at least 10 students spread across a couple different product groups that are definitely selling in the DMs or the messages on TikTok, let alone all my students through Socialgram Shortcut, which is my Instagram like super deep dive course. They sell in the DMs all the time. All right, so let me just see this. So I think that you will get music. I think that when TikTok had its ban in India, Instagram like shoveled out reels to India really super fast because now there's this huge void, and India was the number one user in terms of countries for TikTok. So I think the hurry up offense, they shoveled it out before they were done with all of like the contracts, royalties, and permissions and stuff like that get involved when you're dealing with music, right? So, and the same thing with the US. As soon as Trump was like, hey, late Friday night, early Saturday morning, I could be putting through a ban through an executive order, Instagram was like, whoa. So I think they just shoved it out so fast. I created a couple of reels before I had my accident where I tore my meniscus of the knee. That's painful. But the couple of Instagram reels that I was able to do got me great results. Jacqueline, already of the Wicked Griffin, already in the comments down below, shared with you only 3 reels. She got 10,000 plus views combined. That's really powerful. So I want to talk about short form content publication, why a products-based business would want to do it, why a services-based business would want to do it, and like how the heck can you do something in 15 seconds? At least TikTok, there was a toggle switch. There is a toggle switch because lots of us still have access to it still, where you could like tap it and it would go from like a 15-second maximum, to 60 seconds up to a minute. That at least gave you more room. So I know people are like all antsy about like, what the heck can I even do in 15 seconds? It's going to get me any of the business conversions that I need. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. Unfinished furniture, Heather, missed you pay. I don't have music either. Still have to grab a song from other Reels posts. Right now, in terms of like technically how you do it, yes, that is how you do it. If you're used to creating content on TikTok, any of you live, any of you on the replay, basically Instagram is like the same thing as TikTok. Your learning curve is going to be minutes. It's really the same thing. The interface is like ridiculously simpler. So, just like in TikTok, you normally have to like you can search trending music on TikTok, and you could tap and you could save, and then you could use to save music on a TikTok that you're going to create. Or you could just be like tootling around in TikTok and go, oh, I really like that song. And then you would click in the lower right-hand corner of the bottom of your screen. You would just click on the little like record player symbol that's going around and just tap it. And you can do the same thing. You could save a song to your favorites. So yeah, you do right now have to go around and scavenge off other Reels posts. I think they're going to be bringing in a lot more TikTok-like functionality as time goes on. I just think poor Instagram had to shovel this thing out. In bigger, more complicated countries, it's going to require a crap ton more, product support too. Don't think it doesn't. So, that's why they might have started with like Brazil, France, and Germany. And then, like I said, they stepped into the gap in India, and then they had to step into what they presumed was going to be a gap in the US. But like I said, like Microsoft, I guess, must have talked with Trump and his people and bought more time to be able to finish negotiations and get the legal compliance and tax complications handled for, the purchase to go through from ByteDance in communist China to Microsoft in the United States, which would be cool because then all of that AdSense revenue is really a lot of it's going to be shoveled into the United States. So if you're in the US, that's a benefit. Plus whatever perceived protections you think you're going to get, because a holding company is a holding company. That doesn't absolutely guarantee that like everybody's spying on us. And if you're afraid of like getting hacked through TikTok, that can happen through Instagram, can happen through Facebook. No offense, that can happen on YouTube. All sorts of Twitter recently got a huge hack that made the news. If anybody's a follower of Roberto Blake on YouTube, like I am, he got into a huge YouTube hack just recently. If you go and subscribe to Roberto's channel, tell him I said hi. I met him at Vid Summit in 2018. Great guy. And then, I lost my train of thought. I'll get it back. I'll get it back. Oh yeah. So Twitter got hacked too, but it wasn't just any hack on Twitter. What was really disturbing on Twitter was that the only folks that got hacked were bigger folks that had the blue hashtags for the verified accounts on Twitter. That's really disturbing because only a certain limited number of people had access to the data and information and permissions for those accounts. So to have those accounts get hacked and for there to be a Bitcoin scam that was shoveled through a bunch of tweets in a very short period of time on Twitter, which has been around forever, and people don't seem to have security questions about Twitter compared to, say, TikTok, right? But guess who got a big hack? It wasn't TikTok, it was Twitter. And then within a week or so of that, it was YouTube. These are very mature platforms. They've been around in excess of a decade. They're not known to be horrendously bad, but all social media can be hacked. So make sure you enable two-step verification wherever you can. I have at least 2 videos on this channel that will show you how to protect your Instagram account better, and will show you, if you are on TikTok, how to protect your TikTok account better as well. So Heather, yup, that's how everybody has to scavenge music. Regine Roberts, hello. Quilts, good morning from Phoenix. Good morning. Amy Lindblade, hello. Stacey Onika, #live. Yay, Design Pretty's here. B Haven Designs, hello and good morning. Yes, I know, Els. I don't have music either, and I think it's because our Instagram accounts are switched to business accounts. Fingers crossed that they allow us to have music soon. They definitely will. Notice that for Instagram stories, for many people, not everybody, it depends on where you are in the world, right? You might very well have access to an Instagram story creator, the music sticker. And again, if you have a business account, you're going to have fewer music options even there as you would in a personal account. But there's several reasons why you want to have a business account on any platform. Let's take Instagram versus TikTok just so that you understand. Both of those have access to either insights or analytics. It's the same name, business insights, versus insights. They're both so that you can see your analytics for your channel as a whole. You only get that as a business type profile, or if you're pro on TikTok, same thing, different name. The analytics alone are gold because you can see not only how your account's performing, because from certain forward-facing data, you'd be able to figure that out anyway, but it lets you see like what age range, what sex, what time zone people are, looking at your account, looking at different pieces of content that you create. Is it an IGTV video? Is it a piece of Instagram story content? Is it a video on TikTok, right? TikTok's really good in that it's pro insights and it's free to get either one. You're not paying anything, right? You don't have to give them any like credit card information or anything like that. It's a free option that you just enable. The steps are rather intuitive. They don't tend to ask for anything too crazy. They're not asking for your tax ID as a business or your VAT number or anything like that. Don't worry. Quick sip. So yeah, I think that so the insights alone are gold, but TikTok has something that nobody else has in their analytics, and I think this is very clever. TikTok allows you to see everything I just said that Instagram would give you, but it lets you see the content that your followers liked that isn't yours. And why is that important? Not because you want to go plagiarize or rip off another creator or another content marketer if we're just talking straight up business, but because you can kind of see what songs they like so that you can use them. You can see what creators they like so that you can kind of get inspo or inspiration from them. It's literally the closest thing that you're going to be able to get to going inside the mind of your followers. If you're looking at your insights or your analytics for YouTube, for even Google Analytics, for a website, the Google website master tools and everything like that, for insights for Instagram and, TikTok and stuff. You get so much data. If you're looking at the data and going the age and or the sex and or the country that the person resides in or whatever, if none of that's matching up to your niche, then you might have to ask yourself what kind of content you're using to promote your business, and you might have to tweak it. I think in many cases, you know your niche well enough to know what kind of content they like, but still, if you're like seeing insights that don't have any sort of causal connection or nexus to the type of people you're trying to attract because you want to, sell your products and or services to them, you need your insights to be able to do that. And on all these accounts, it's free and you need to use it. So even if you have like no music right now on Reels, even if like when you do get music on Reels or through Instagram stories, through the music sticker or on TikTok, even if you have access to fewer types of music and stuff, that's okay. It's a fair trade-off because you're not, as an entrepreneur parent, as a working parent, as an entrepreneur in general, you're not there trying to just build up yourself as an influencer. You're not just trying. That's not normally the business model of many of my students. But even if you are, like, you're in business to do business, right? So you can't pay the bills with like likes or followers or subscribers or how many hearts or double taps something gets or how many comments something gets. A lot of that stuff is like micro conversions. The 3 top macro conversions that you care about when you're doing social media marketing is, yes, you do want people to follow or subscribe or whatever the individual platform parlance or wording is. That does mean that they're taking a step to go from like a general like audience member that might have found you in organic search or through suggested search or something. They're willing to take that first step and like break the seal and kind of like make a commitment to you and follow and subscribe. That's cool. But the second macro conversion is them getting on your email list. And the third macro conversion is for you to get a sale from them. But if they're liking or double tapping, or just because you have like a lot of followers, that doesn't guarantee that you have like a social media marketing funnel on that particular platform. So I can take questions having to do with that as well. Let me see. So Bridget Upcycle Lawson. Hey, Miss Bridget. Good morning. What's up with the moms and the cats and the hubs? Dawn Molitor, good morning. Candace Woods, good morning. Super excited to be here. I'm super excited to have you here. Monica Santana Alamonte, good morning, everyone. # live. And she knows that I love the little GIFs that she uses. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. So really, really quickly here. If you're just joining the stream now, I want you to know that I'm answering, questions. I'm answering your entrepreneur mom, entrepreneur parents, entrepreneur especially content marketing questions, content marketing through social media. So if you have a question about what's going on with any of that kind of stuff, go ahead and put your questions down below. And once I get to it in the queue here, then I'll get it answered in the show. I'm going to be streaming for, oh my goodness, for at least another hour, if not more. So there's still plenty of time for me to address your questions or realistic concerns. Just make sure that you put your question down below. All right, so let's see. Marja Panker's here. Hey, Marja, what's going on? Good to see you. Okay, so this is what I'm thinking. How many of you, just let me know down below, have you tried either TikTok or Instagram Reels at all? Just like, let me know at all. It's very important for me to be able to see this so that I kind of know how to tailor this conversation for the benefit of the people who are live. If you're here on the replay, I appreciate that too. I'm hoping I'm going to give you guys a ton of value. Jane Wilson. Hi, Jane. I'm new to social media. What is a reel? That's a really good question. Jane Wilson said she hasn't been on either. That's okay. Metals and Pieces. Melissa Pickle is here. Good morning. Metals and Pieces, doing both, more reels than TikTok. While I'm answering Jane Wilson and anybody else live and on the replay who's like, what's a reel? What's going on? I don't understand what that is. Melissa, let me know what your observations have been in the comments down below using reels. Why are you on reels more than TikTok? I'm going to guess I know the answer. Same thing, Andrew George. Andrew George has had like crazy results on reels too. Some things, like any piece of content marketing, is going to pop harder and faster than others. That's okay. That's just life. But there are trends that you can see usually with your insights or your analytics, which is why you want a business account in the first place. Good morning. Hi, it's Laura Ferrer of Sampson and Mills Bag Company. Hello. Still no reels in my country. Marja, you know they're rolling it out. Catherine says she hasn't tried either. Rebecca Schwab, TikTok and reels, and I knew that. Ray Jean says I played with both a little. Okay, Jane Wilson, I'm coming for you in a second. Heather says we've done 6 reels so far. Dawn Molitor, good girl. She's put up 11 reels. Monica Santana says I did reels and it was okay for the first one. Sure. Rachel Werert says, where do you find reels analytics? Okay. So Jane, Rachel, really quickly, right now, I'm sure they're going to fold it into the analytics panel that you probably know how to get to, since I know you're a business account. Right now, it's in the individual reels, okay? Just like anybody would really be able to see forward-facing. I know that they're going to fold more intricacies into the mix. They're still doing their global rollout. Tracy of Jeweler, and I haven't forgotten you, Jane. I'm getting to you. Tracy of Jewelerique says, I've done reels, very easy to use. I had more people watch my reels than the Instagram stories. We're going to discuss that. So here we go. So Jane Wilson, and for anybody else who's like, I don't know what reels is, I feel lost. Don't feel bad. Reels is something that Instagram came out with. Facebook Inc. Let me do this so you understand like the whole progression, and then you'll understand what reels is and why this is such an important golden window opportunity of time. My goodness. Okay. So Facebook Inc. Facebook's been around for way in excess of a decade. It's a very mature platform. At least about a decade ago, if not close, Facebook bought Instagram, because at that point, Instagram was more of like a pictures and video sharing social media app. It definitely claimed the hearts and minds of a lot of millennials who back then were the young kids around using social media. So Facebook Inc. bought up Instagram and still owns it today. Next, Facebook Inc. said, whoa, Gen Z and a bunch of young Gen Y millennials aren't using Facebook so much. They're calling us old book. And they're on Instagram, but they're also on this upstart called Snapchat. And Snapchat has like a bunch of cool augmented reality filters and stuff like that, and disappearing content and all. We're jelly. So several years ago, Facebook Inc. made overtures to purchase Snapchat at $1 billion. And the owner said, nope. So Facebook said, we don't need your tech. We just wanted your audience, but that's okay. We'll attract them away with Instagram stories, which is basically a ripoff of Snapchat. Okay. Instagram stories for the longest time was like a hot darling on Instagram. About 85% of all Instagram users will watch 85 to 100% of Instagram story content. It was like the thing. So then Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook Inc. said, I'm really jelly of YouTube. I want everything. I'm like Xanos instead of Thanos from the Marvel universe. I want it all. I want all the stones in my gauntlet. So Mark Zuckerberg said, okay, I can't buy YouTube. It's too big, it's too powerful, it's too expensive. So I'm going to come out with IGTV, which is basically YouTube for Instagram. Now stick with me, Jane, and everybody else. Don't worry, I'm gonna finally answer your question in just a second, but I want you to understand how all this works, because that's going to dovetail into why this is all so important, okay? So why this is such an important window of time, and you really got to jump on Reels now while it's relatively new, especially in the US and in Norway and a bunch of other countries that it just launched about a week or so ago in. So Instagram said, okay, IGTV, it's going to be a long-term play for us to fight with YouTube and to come out dominant, we hope. So IGTV was the hot new darling. So Instagram stories, your followers love those. Instagram stories, I've got dark mode, so this should hopefully show up. You know, when you do an Instagram story, you're a bubble that shows up in this topmost shelf. That gets you a lot of attention. The actual user's profile icon or bubble is in the top left-hand corner. Lots of folks, at least in America, read left to right. So that's really primo placement. When you first publish an Instagram story, your bubble is going to be right there, which is why I tell my students, if you can, I know a lot of you are busy entrepreneur parents, but if you could publish to Instagram stories around 3 times a day, once around every meal, it's important, because as you publish stuff fresh, you'll jump to the head of the line. You'll have your little icon be next to the icon of the user. You're more likely to be top of mind, and your Instagram story content is more likely to be opened and consumed from them, as opposed to, say, a feed post. Although feed posts get lots of love too. Okay, so now let's get to Reels. What happened was TikTok came around, and about 2 months or so ago now, knocked Instagram off the top of the pile, off the number one position of the most downloaded app in the App Store on any device. That's a big blow to Facebook Inc. as a global company and all its holdings. They didn't like that. So they were having the hurry up offense as TikTok began to ascend up the ladder. Mark Zuckerberg and company said, we would like to beat TikTok at its own game too. Short form content marketing is huge. They love the creators for personal reasons. It's great because that's where the attention is. If you want to market for your business today, you have to get involved in social media marketing. You have to, because this is where all the attention is today, right? People are on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok up to 53 minutes to an hour a day a piece. Right? So that's up to almost 3 hours of, yes, a gainfully employed adult's attention, not just kids, runs about as long, right? So the adults are the ones that have the expendable cash that can buy your products and or services. So if you're not social media marketing at all, or you are not doing it super well, you may as well be digitally invisible. So if you're like, oh, I've tried to kind of like once a week, maybe like publish social media content, and how come I'm not really getting much, if any, sales? You're not really where you need to be. Hold on just a second. Let me take care of this. Okay, I should be in. Yay. So make sure that you're publishing on the top 1 to 2 platforms that are most important to your niche, that specialized slice of society that your products and or services are meant to serve. You need to be on the top 1 to 2 platforms that they're on, and you need to be producing content there like daily. And Instagram story content, I say around 3 times a day, once around every meal. When you're done feeding the kids or the grandkids, then you can like very quickly just bounce out like a really casual piece of Instagram story content. It's really very easy and intuitive to do. So in the meantime, Zuckerberg and company was like, hey, we're jealous of TikTok. TikTok's rising up the ranks. So they knew better than to think that they were just going to go and buy something so quick and easy from communist China's ByteDance. So they started to come up with a feature that would continue to pull people back to the Instagram fold. So Reels is a new feature that is contained under the Instagram app umbrella itself, Jane and everybody else. You don't have to go outside of Instagram to find it. The first time that you open up, so if you're like, well, I can't find it. That was a problem that a lot of my students were having. So solution typically is update your Instagram app, update the operating system of the device that you're going to be accessing Instagram on, then turn your device off. We'll say it's your phone. Give it like a minute or two to like cold rest, then boot it back up again, re-enter the Instagram app, and you should see on your home screen, it's not here now because I've already done some reels, but like up top, probably the bubble or circle that's closest to your profile icon in the upper left-hand corner, one over, you should see like new with an exclamation point. It should have like a glowing, like pinkish branded circle around it. And if you tap on that, they'll do a quick walkthrough of Instagram Reels, which if anybody's created any content on TikTok, Instagram Reels is like such a ripoff of TikTok. It's not even funny, in very much the same way that Instagram Stories was in large part a ripoff of what Snapchat had to offer with like filters and augmented reality and disappearing content. So does that help you, Jane Wilson, and anybody else? Candace Wood says she hasn't done TikTok or Reels, but she's interested, and you should be, because we're going to get to that too. Some countries don't have TikTok yet, but they are going out of their way to roll out TikTok as fast as possible. I'm going to tell you why it's so important that you need to be on it. I'm almost 50 and it doesn't matter. Like, I use it and it really helps us. If you go to Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill on TikTok, you can see we have way over like 140,000 people on TikTok alone. That's hugely raised our profile. We have nearly 11,000 followers on our Facebook page. If anybody's telling you the Facebook page marketing is dead, that's a lie. If they're telling you that you only have to have 1% to 2% penetration on a Facebook page, that's a lie. You don't believe me? I walk the talk. So go to Joe's Dairy Bar, / Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill on social media, and you will see Facebook. It's huge on our page. Our group is almost at 3,000 people. It's a very active group with multiple daily posts in it. TikTok, huge, well over 140,000. YouTube, we have like almost 700 subscribers there. It's really hard to build on YouTube because it's such a competitive platform. You can do it. Hey, in less than a year, I got to 1,000 subs here. Let's see. So right now, Rachel Wirtz, Reels Analytics, you're going to find on the individual Reels. I'm sure they're going to sweep that into the business analytics, the business insights, where you would normally find them on Instagram. Heather says we're getting a decent amount of views, more than our posts. That makes sense because Instagram Reels, and this is part of the reason why this is such a huge deal right now. Instagram Reels is like the hot new darling of Instagram, period, because it's a new feature, it's a new functionality. So that's typically the case, but also they're at war with TikTok. And even if TikTok doesn't get a US ban and Microsoft owns it, Microsoft's like a huge, robust, and successful blue chip stock in the United States. TikTok's not going to be any less of a competitor for that purchase going through. In fact, that's bad news for Instagram because they were kind of hoping that TikTok would be shut down from the two largest countries that use it. Plus the US, not to toot our horn necessarily, we're hardly perfect as a country. Nothing and nobody is. But when it comes to ad spend, our businesses spend more, our entrepreneurs spend more when it comes to ads. And our consumers buy more and click on ads more. So it gives, ads are how these platforms are monetized. Otherwise, how do they pay the bills, right? So you are going to get a whole bunch of sweet, sweet organic reach that you wouldn't normally see, even if you really know how to optimize things well on Instagram. And my Instagram students through my Socialgram shortcut course, let's do socialgramshortcut.com. I'll just throw that there because I know someone's going to ask, and that's not in the show notes down below. You can take a look at what that's all about, but that's not what I'm here to do. But my students know how to optimize practically every other piece of content on there: feed posts, lives that they can repurpose into IGTVs, IGTV videos that they can do as standalones that have nothing to do with replays of lives, Instagram story content, and now we have Reels, Instagram Reels. So that's all under the same app. If you have the Instagram app, you technically have access to Reels. If you go to other big accounts, they've probably at least done some Reels over the last week to 2 weeks. So you can tap on their Reels and you can see how they're done and what they look like. But yeah, Heather, that's why you're getting a decent amount of views. You're probably disproportionately for the next couple of weeks, very likely, especially if you optimize well and get some decent engagement, you're very likely to hit the Explore feature on Instagram, which is always so coveted, because other than optimizing your posts to be found in organic search, which is still an important thing to do, Instagram, any social media platform, is really the functional equivalent of a social media search engine. It really is a mini search engine. Whether they're searching on keywords or whether they're searching on hashtags or both, people are going to find a whole bunch of stuff organically in search, which is why feed posts are so important, because you can optimize those with up to 2,200 characters in your caption alone, and you can put up to 30 hashtags in that caption, or you can do up to 22 characters of like a caption with just that's keyword rich for search. And then in the first comment down below, you could put all 30 hashtags that you're able to do. You can split up the hashtags too any way you want. You just can't within the entirety of the post as the creator, you can't, business or personal, you can't exceed 30 hashtags. Tracy says, I've done Reels, very easy to use. I had more people watch my Reels than the IG stories. And IG stories are still hot. It's not like everything's deader than disco, and disco has made its comeback. Whatever kind of content marketing you're doing on Instagram, I would totally continue that. Do not let it die down. But like Tracy said, it's super easy to use the Reels feature once you find it. Especially if you're a millennial or younger, it's very natively intuitive. I'm a Gen Xer. I was able to figure out TikTok. It probably took me a half an hour to do it because I'm old. But, Instagram Reels, I was like, it's the same thing. The only thing is that TikTok does allow you to toggle the option to go past 15 seconds to 60 seconds or a minute. And I'm going to tell you why in a little bit. I don't necessarily care that you have less time than you could have on TikTok. I don't think you necessarily need that long to get your point across, and I approve. I have 2 pieces of proof, actually. So it doesn't take long to create Reels content or even TikTok content, and it's not very hard. It's not very hard. And why I love Reels, I have a bunch of videos on this channel that walks you through, could you guys all give me a thumbs up too while you're live and on the replay too? It really, really helps me out. YouTube, the more engagement it sees, the more it'll push this out to my subscribers at the very least. And I want to make sure, thank you. I see those thumbs up coming in. Everybody give me a thumbs up. Please, please, please. It helps. And if there's any entrepreneur parents, working parents, or any entrepreneurs just in general that you think could benefit from this, make sure that you share this out. You can share it. You could share it on YouTube. You could share it on Facebook. You could share it on Twitter, Instagram. Just share it out because this is really cutting edge. Woo, thank you for all that. Thumbs up. Keep them coming. Thank you for doing it also on the replay. Hashtag live, hashtag replay. That really helps me out too. But yeah, you're going to see a lot more boosted reach, like ridiculous, like you almost hit the lotto reach sometimes. I've had several students do that. 10,000 or more views on even one piece of content. And of course, you ask them, okay, did you have more people sign up on your email list? Yes. Have you had more sales? Some, yes. It's really cool. Are you having increased engagement with your feed post content and any Instagram highlights that you might have pinned around the top of the feed? Yup, they're seeing a lot more engagement. So that's important too. And I'm going to tell you guys why in a minute. Melissa from Metals and Pieces says, I tend to get stuck in scroll holes on TikTok, so I'm actively avoiding opening the app. Yes, this is truly not a good reason. Also having trouble finding my people on TikTok. I'm going to tell you right now that part of that's really, I'd be surprised. I know you know what you're doing. You're one of my advanced students, Melissa. I'm going to say painting with a broad brush for anybody listening to me live or on the replay. If your people, your niche, aren't tending to find your stuff, especially if you know how to use your insights or your analytics on apps like TikTok or Instagram, if you're finding that you're not getting your niche attracted to your content, with Melissa, I'm not necessarily saying this has to be the case, but with a lot of you, it depends on how you're optimizing things. Are you using hashtags that you know that your niche is going to use, not just in general, but in connection with the intersecting interest that would connect them through just searching for content to consume on, say, Instagram or TikTok, because they use TikTok that way too. Don't tell yourself they don't. They can and they do. There's the discover, there's the search box. They can do it. They can search hashtag or keyword either which way. They can search for makers or creators or TikTokers on TikTok. Same thing on Instagram, okay? So what hashtags are you using and or keywords are you using in your caption when you're optimizing the content that you publish on TikTok, Instagram, both, that your actual buyers are looking, are searching up content for on, that particular platform, be it Instagram, TikTok, whatever. I might experiment with different types of hashtags because yes, that might alter things. I don't think it's so much. See, a lot of times people are like, oh, it's the content I'm creating itself. That's usually not the case. I mean, sometimes it could be, but it's not usually the case. It's usually how you optimize the post. That's the problem. So your people are on TikTok because, especially with, they're definitely on Instagram, and I know you know that, Melissa. But, because of the lockdown, you have a disproportionately large amount of Gen X and baby boomers crossing over to TikTok because they were stuck with their kids and or grandkids and were bored, and they started downloading the app. That basically microwaved the speed at which the app grew and the speed at which more adults decided to play with it. And TikTok is stupid easy to use, both as a consumer and as a creator. And the good news for you on the Instagram Reels side is Instagram Reels is the same basic creator as TikTok. School Time Now says no reel on TikTok. And you know what, School Time Now, I'm going to guess from the name that you've got, you're either going to be having yourself a renaissance with homeschoolers or people that are doing distance learning because of everything that's going on in the world right now. So if you knew how to optimize with hashtags, say if you played around with Flick, the link is for that is down below, or you could go to, you could go to our sponsor, flick.tech /F as in Frank, P as in Peter, R as in Rhino equals Stacey Storino. Same name as this channel. And you can have a 7-day trial. And I'm telling you, your head's going to fly off as you start to explore hashtags. They also have a lot of in-house training to make you very hashtag aware and hashtag sensitive in a global sense, as well as how to use their tech. It's a 7-day free trial. I'm telling you, you'll probably be able to optimize your content everywhere, not just in terms of Instagram Reels, but anywhere that you would publish content on Instagram itself. And also you can use the same hashtag information for TikTok. I've not seen that the results are really much different. If you also have a presence on Twitter, as many do, because Twitter is the largest cocktail party on planet Earth, well, guess what? I would definitely use it for Twitter as well. Keep those thumbs up coming. That really, really helps me out. More people will see this both live and on the replay. And while the live is going, it's going to push it out to more people, given how I've optimized the stream. Bridget says, shared the link with other brick and mortar businesses in the historical downtown area with an online presence. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Hold on. My feed just went up too fast. I have to choose between posting his stories or feed. And I've got a trick for you, MJ. I do. Hold on. I bounced around a little fast. Hold on. Ooh. I'm coming back to you, MJ, I promise. Shared the link with other brick and mortar businesses in the historical downtown area, says Bridget, with an online presence. I hope if some of us build up our individual businesses, the whole downtown will thrive. It's my honor to do that. If they have a group and you want me to come in as a guest speaker, I won't plug anything. It won't have a sponsor like this does. Don't worry about it. You'll be fine. Heather says, need to set up IG stories and IGTV. You should probably look at my Socialgram shortcut course because you guys have some pretty nice stuff, and I think you need to your content marketing game on Instagram. People come to Instagram to buy. They really do. Millennials on up, they disproportionately love to see content from businesses. More than on TikTok, although TikTok's getting a tolerance for it too, as more and more adults come on. But Instagram, like the stats have shown, and they've only increased year over year, in a healthy dose each year through the present. People like to see business content, and they also like to use that information to inform their buying decisions. So that's pretty important for you guys to know. Need to set up IG stories and IGTV. Yup, you do, because that's really important. If you have like a Maker Monday where you show your stuff being built, Heather and everybody else, that's perfect fodder for any content marketing on TikTok, Instagram, IGTV, especially YouTube. If you have a channel, people love that. Jacqueline says, just add talk to your TikTok tags, Norse talk or witch talk. Oh, I love that. Jacqueline knows what she's doing. Melissa says, thanks. I will definitely play around with that. MJ says, now I'm to you. Good morning. I noticed that I have to choose between posting to either stories or feed. Nope. That shouldn't be true. I can't post to both from Reels. I can only hope by default that my Reel is going out to explore. While you're still playing with Reels, you do have a disproportionately high chance, especially if you're a product-based business. A lot of product-based business owners tend to be a little slower on the uptake when it comes to the cutting edge and bleeding edge of content marketing at all, let alone, new features on social media platforms. So, if you're optimizing right, and MJ, you're smart, so I know that you are, you do have a good shot at it, but it's not true. There's no choice that you need to make. You're in America like I am, so odds are the information I'm about to give you should be good info. So when you create your Reels on Instagram, and you are at that last page where you write the caption, you put in your hashtags. When you're creating a Reels, the hashtags, at least currently, have to go in the caption space along with your keyword rich caption that you write, your micro blog posts, as I teach my students to write with that engaging hook that gets people to slow their scroll and really consume your content. Now, when you're done with that, so right now your hashtags have to be in with the caption, but it's 2,200 characters total, which is way more than you get on TikTok. How badly does Instagram want to beat up TikTok, right? They're killing the fatted calf for you. But when you're ready to publish it, MJ and everybody else, you should see the big blue button on the bottom, right? There's two things I want you to take note of. One thing is, above that big blue button, there should be a toggle that's toggled on blue automatically by default. So you're not only publishing your Reels out to like the new Reels sector of your Instagram account. You won't have one until you publish your Reels for the first time, your first Reel. After that, it's going to show up at that little icon that's going to show up just at the top of your feed. You know where you see like the 9 boxes in a rectangle, and then you see the IGTV symbol. That won't appear unless you publish an IGTV, but then it will. Next will be the Reels icon. After that's like the little person in the box, that's for all the at mentions, right? Especially the at mentions that mention you. So again, if you're like, what the heck does that look like? Go to Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill on Instagram. They should have everything but reels. I was going to create a reels for them. Let me not lie, because we do have other people. They have not done a reels yet. We have other people who do content marketing for us as well now. It's not all just me, because I have my own thing going. But I'll be creating a reel for them shortly, and then we'll have the reel symbol. But you could see the other symbols if you're not really sure by going to Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill on Instagram. But so MJ, that toggle that is automatically on, your reels gets published to your reels sector on your Instagram profile. It also, if you leave that blue toggle on, it will automatically go to your feed post. But there's a third place that you can publish to on Instagram with your reels. Before you press that big blue button, you want to swipe right. Let me see. And you create reels in your Instagram story creator, right? So you would go to the home screen and you would swipe to the left to get into your Instagram story creator. And down on the bottom, you should see reels as an option. It might not be the first one. Usually by default, it's a little hard to see. It'll be your Instagram live, and then comes stories, so you can create story content, and then comes reels, right? If you've updated your app and you've updated your operating system and you've done the cold start and restart, you'll see it. And that's where the reels option is. So once you've created a reels and you're ready to publish, you would swipe to the left, and I believe the screen's going to show up. It might be you swipe to the right, and it'll swipe. You should see all your Instagram stories publication options. So publish to story will be a blue button right under there. It should be like your close friends if you created a circle like that on Instagram. Some of you know how to do that, some of you don't. And then it'll be a whole bunch of individual people that you could push this out to. But I would publish it to the story. So one piece of Reels content, let me know if you're following me down below here, gives you 3 different pieces of content published simultaneously. Again, Instagram really wants you to use Reels and is going to do anything it can to reward you. MJC says, I don't see it on the hashtags there right after posting. If I post to Reels and stories, and not my feed, because I have to choose between stories and feed. That shouldn't be true. That shouldn't be true at all. That's not true for me. Bridget says, I'm not a regular on TikTok, but posting a few times a day on Reels. I've got a few more followers on both. Now I need to work on my email list. And then Melissa from Metals and Pieces is trying to help MJ. So yes, the link that's in your bio on Instagram, or for, I'm getting a little dry here, or, pardonnez-moi, sorry. The link that's in your profile or your bio on Instagram or TikTok, both, don't go for the head fake and put your website. Make sure that you put your email list opt-in link there. So if you're using MailChimp like some people do, it's called an EE Pro link. And you might know that if you understand MailChimp enough. Otherwise, it's the subscribe link that you get through things like Olo, that's a MailChimp competitor, MailChimp, and stuff like that. The link that they give you for the landing page for the email opt-in, that's what should go in the website box. It's not a violation of terms of service. It really isn't, because that is a site that you are driving people to. Why do I say in the link in bio, why do I say that you should not have a website link? That seems counterintuitive, because you are driving traffic. You know, when you're saying, oh, see the link in bio, when you're live or on a video, or, you know, in your content, in your caption, somebody finds you organically in search, they get intrigued about you. Where are they going to go? Probably where you go, to the bio on Instagram or TikTok. Similar phenomenon, just different platforms. The link that's in your bio, they're going to likely click on. But here's my problem. Website, they can get distracted by something shiny, wander away, and then, you know, bye, you're done. At least if they're that interested in you and they click on a link that takes them to like a digital landing page, that says, hey, for, news, tips, tricks, insights, and I'm just making it up, 20% off your next order from us, click here. And they just give their email address. Don't ask for their name and all that stuff. Don't give them too much time to think so that they back out of it. They don't want to back out of it. Just let them click on that. If they're interested enough in what they've seen from the content that drew them to you in the first place, and if they're looking at everything that's going on in your feed, as many do, they may not consume everything, but they're kind of like tasting, and they're just seeing if they like you well enough to click the link in bio, then they like you well enough to scoop up a coupon. Or if you're like a coach or a course creator, you might do a coupon, or you might do like an ethical email opt-in bribe, like a quick start guide or something like that, some sort of PDF, or maybe even a free mini course or a sample lesson from a course that you're doing. Doesn't matter. If they don't like you enough to click on that link just because it's not a website, then they didn't like you enough to shop from you anyway, and I wouldn't lose sleep over it. Capture those leads. Even if they don't take action on the freebie immediately, you can now email market to them every single week as long as you're providing value, the occasional reminder to cash in a coupon or sale. They're not going to unsubscribe because you're giving them value. All right, so they're going back and forth about the Reels thing there. Thank you for helping her. Thank you for your leadership, Melissa, with MJ. Monica says, do we use the same amount of hashtags for Reels as we do the posts? That's a great question, and the answer is yes. Yet another piece of proof that Instagram is killing the fatted calf for you to use Reels as opposed to TikTok. Ideally, I say use them all, right? Don't play favorites. Use them all. Seriously, if you've got the time or the bandwidth while kids are napping, or you're doing elder care and they're chilled out or whatever, they're napping, and you have a quick 15 seconds to create some short form content and optimize it to the teeth, push it out. So for Reels, just like for feed posts, just like for IGTV on Instagram, you get 30 hashtags. Use all 30 hashtags. If they didn't want you using all 30, or if it was somehow not okay or not wise to do, they would shrink the amount of hashtags that you would use. Use all 30 on every Reels, every regular feed post that you do, whether it's a carousel or not, whether it's a video snippet of up to a minute or not, whether it's an IGTV video that can be several minutes long, doesn't matter. Every single hashtag represents an entry point by which someone can find you organically in search. Now that includes Reels, which gets a ridiculous amount of suggested push, a ridiculous amount of increased odds to end up in the Explore page. When you use hashtags, you are telling the algorithm how more likely than not you should be sorted out onto Explore. If you've got 30 different hashtags, that's up to 30 additional chances that you would have over not using hashtags at all to optimize your Reels. You could be found on the Explore page of many different Instagrammers or users of Instagram simultaneously, because right now people are just really starting to use Reels, right? Especially older adults. Mid to older range millennials who have businesses, Gen X, baby boomers even. I have quite a few students who are in their 70s or mid to upper 70s. So don't tell yourself it's too late for Reels, because if they're out there doing it, and some of them even played on TikTok too, nobody has an excuse. And if they think it's easy, it will literally take you minutes to figure this thing out, and up to 15 seconds at a shot to record the video, and maybe a minute or 2 or 3 to throw some stickers on it or optimize it, your Reels, the same way you would do Instagram story content. Does this make sense? Because they're giving you all the benefits of 30 hashtags. It's a piece of video content. Yes, up to 15 seconds. I get that. We'll deal with that in a second. But they're also giving you all this ridiculous organic reach, and they are allowing you to even trick it out like a piece of Instagram story content too. So maybe that's your reminder that where you normally would find Reels to create it is in the Instagram story creator. All right, so let me go through some more of the feed. So Melissa's helping MJ more. Thank you. Jane Wilson says, thank you, but I don't see where to add stories or Reels. Okay, like you're in Instagram, Jean, and you can't find it. So go to your home screen and then swipe to the left from your home screen, and that should take you to your Instagram story creator, right? So like, oh no, get out of the Instagram story creator, Stacey. Yes, I'm sorry, swipe right. And then you have, so go to your home screen, like when you first log in, see the little home, so you tap that, or it's white, that means you're on it, right? And then swipe to the right, and that'll give you your story creator. This is where you would go live or story. You could create your story content, and then you should have reels. If you don't have reels, you need to make sure that your app is updated, the operating system of the device that you're attempting to access the app is updated, then turn your app off, wait a minute or two, like let's do a cold restart, and then fire up the device again, rather, and then go back into Instagram. You really should see it there. If you're in a different country, like Jane, I don't know if you want to say what country you're in, but if you're in like the US or France or Norway or Germany or India or Brazil, or there's quite a few other countries that have it now, odds are you will have it. You might have to do that. So that's where you can see where to, probably what you want to say is create stories or reels. And the good news is, Jane, that you would create both in the same place. So once you find one, you'll find the other. Stitchworks staff account, Jen Majors. Hi, Jen. I have had email signups and also sales from those email signups reels. Of course you have. Yay. Also, conversations as well, likely in the DMs, right? But also you could have conversations in the comments too, so I shouldn't presume. Reels has been working much better than TikTok, but I haven't abandoned TikTok. Nor should you. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. If you're older and or new or relatively new to business, let alone social media marketing, I know it's like, whoa, so many platforms, so little time. But we are talking about the shortest of short form content to create. And we are also talking about stuff that's literally fall out of bed easy. You're not going to break anything. Play around. You don't have to publish what you have. You can hit the little trash can. You can delete it. So play with a bunch of junk just to see what all the features do. If you're used to creating Instagram stories, then it's a walk in the park to add to your reels once you're done with like the base creation of the reel or the short form video content. You don't have to use the stickers and stuff like that, but I say do. It's more visual interest. You're layering different options on different features rather on top of one another, and that could very well incentivize the algorithm to push you out more. If you're going to use stickers or GIFs, my advice to you is always, whether it's Instagram stories you're creating or a reel, I would always use the latest and greatest, newest stuff, because those individual stickers or GIFs or features always get additional bonus reach. Even if it's for a week or two, they're going to use it and you always benefit from it, especially if you're using the right keywords in the caption, especially if you have like an uber sexy hook to get people to slow their scroll or to really read the caption, especially if it's a feed post caption. When they tap more, that actually is an additional data point for Instagram's algorithm to surface to go, ooh, there's increased interest there. They didn't just go scrolling on by. This is very important. No matter what type of content on Instagram we're talking about, then the more hashtags that you use, the more entry points you have people, the more ways you can have people to find that particular piece of content, whether it's reels, a feed post, IGTV. You get up to 10 hashtags and stories too. May as well use those. All different ways that people can find you. All right. So Stitchworks is doing good. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, though, is the point I'm making to Stitchworks. And I know they know what they're doing, but to everybody else, too. Because, listen, just like Vine years ago, something could be shut down. Just like MySpace, something can become, in not a terribly long period of time, suddenly irrelevant. Just like some things get totally like either bought out and dissolved, like Vine did by Twitter. Twitter bought Vine and everyone was shocked when they just shelved it. That was dumb. I bet you they're wondering what they're doing with themselves now. Vine is like, I miss Vine. Vine was very much like TikTok and Instagram Reels, except it wasn't quite as robust, but it was super simple to use. To be quite frank with you, it was a great beginner way to create content. You could only go up to 6 seconds on Vine. And there were major companies like Lowe's and the Home Depot that was creating great content in 6 seconds. There were a lot of comedians that could tell a quick joke in 6 seconds, a quick tip in 6 seconds. So now you guys have more than double that at 15 seconds for Instagram Reels, and 15 seconds to up to 60 seconds on TikTok. What's a quick tip Tuesday tip that you could give? What's a quick tool, Tuesday? This is a tool I use, or this is a tool you should use. What's a quick joke for Fun or Funny Friday that members of your niche would like? It's an in-joke that only they would get. It has to do with the intersecting interest that brought them through search to your business through its content. Onika, Bridget, what kind or reels are better than others? Ask Candace. Better than others. Candace, can you clarify that for me in the comments down below? Haberdassery, #live, what's going on? Rebecca Schwab, I'm getting so much more activity on Instagram with reels and posting the stories 3 times a day. You know it. Who's a teacher? Who's your teacher? And who's a great student? Who's a great student? Following what you're doing. I love it. Candace says, I assume all reels are niche-based. No, they're not. Reels is just up to 15-second video content that you create. There's nothing specifically niche-based about it until you use the hashtags that would help that reel be found organically in search by members of your niche. So, Candace, it depends on the hashtags that you put on it. It depends on the caption that you write that's keyword rich, that again would help that particular piece of content be found by members of your niche. For the vast, vast majority of people watching this live or on the replay, the only reason why you're bothering to do content marketing is to drive people to your business so that you increase the odds over time of doing business. A lot of people want to get to know you as the brand owner, the brand leader. They want to understand your brand and what it does and who they do it for, and how your solutions are particularly custom crafted for people just like them. So if you're selling lipstick, but it's good for anybody, it's really hard to get traction for that today. If you're selling eco-friendly lipstick, you've narrowed things down, but you still have to do the storytelling for somebody to really love you and not just the product and go, cool product, and go away. So that's why captions are so important. That's why what you say during lives and on IGTVs or YouTube videos or YouTube lives, wherever you are, you need to go where your people are. You need to optimize your content, whether it's Reels or TikTok or not, so that members of your niche can find you. The content in and of itself that you create could be niche specific, but I don't want anybody, you may be fine on this, Candace, but a lot of people are going to see this live and on the replay. I don't want anybody to be misled. The content that you create shouldn't just be you personally, like you're doing a personal account. You should have a business profile or account or GoPro on TikTok. You should definitely, and I have a ton of videos that will help you guys, well over 100 videos that will help you guys with content marketing, entrepreneur, parent, work-life balance, and stuff like that. So make sure that you subscribe and click the bell notification. You don't want to miss any of these lives. I will be doing lives for people, students and non-students. The goal is every Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, okay? And it'll probably go for at least an hour, but then I do have student time in the Socialgram Shortcut Facebook page for members, paid students only at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But I can definitely go longer today. I don't want to leave anybody in a bad place because the timing is so right while this is live for people to jump in and take advantage of that crazy overkill organic reach that you're going to get, not just on TikTok, but on Instagram as well through Reels. So there's no better than others. There's just content that you create that may or may not showcase products. It shouldn't always be products, sell, buy all the time. Although some of your content, whether it's reels or not, can definitely be sales-based marketing. That's another reason why you really need to be a business account instead of a personal account. So this way people don't feel like all whacked out or cheated or somehow misled when they think they're following a person that might be a member of their niche like they are, that's just enjoying things personally and creating content for personal consumption. You don't want them to feel that you got the drop on them because now you're a business too. If you're an eponymous or self-named business, you better make sure that you have a lot of stuff going on that, yes, shows you as a brand leader, but in terms of what you say in a video or during a live, or in terms of what the caption lays out, you need to let people know that you're a business owner. This is what you do. This is who you do it for. You're either a member of your own niche, and that's why these are custom crafted solutions in terms of product, services, or both, or there is some sort of quick elevator pitch fast story that definitely will connect you to the niche so that they understand that even though you're not technically one of them, you understand them enough to, again, create the custom crafted solutions and or services that they'd rather get from someone like you. Statistically speaking, people will pay more for not vanilla, but for custom crafted solutions and or products. They really would rather. Stories and stoneware made it late. Hey, Miss Andrea, what's going on, Andrea? Onika says I'm selling on Instagram regularly. As well, you should. How many followers do you have on Instagram, Onika? Can you tell us down below? You're in Canada, says Jane. You should be able to find everything the way I told you, nonetheless, Jane. I think so. I'm just dropping down in the chat really fast. My eyes went to Jane Wilson, so I want to make sure she's in a good place. I'm trying. So Onika should, yes, any products or services-based business can sell on Instagram regularly. People do go there with the direct and or indirect mindset to buy. They do like to follow businesses. They do want to see sales-related content on Instagram. They do want to see products. The only problem is if the content that you create is nothing but a parade of products and nothing but sales announcement, product collection launches and retirements, and it's nothing but sell, you might get sales, but not as many as you could get if you had what I call relationship marketing content in there. Marketing content that's value added. They may star your products or show your products in the graphic or whatever, but it's helping your niche with whatever intersecting interest they have that brought them to you in search when they're searching for more content to binge watch and consume, because it has to do with what they're interested in right now, and that's what makes your content and you interesting. The more deposits you put in the bank of KLT with relationship-based marketing, the higher your KLT, the more sales there will be. And you can post sales stuff, but you really have to have enough deposits in the bank of KLT to get good withdrawals. And so I would say this is not a bright line, but you should be serving up value-based posts that don't say, shop my sale, this is available now. You should have value-added posts at roughly 2 to 3 times the rate that you would have just a straight-up sales-based post. There should usually be a call to action in your relationship marketing based stuff. That can be to ask people to go to the link in bio. And there's no credible information that shows that, saying in all or most of your posts, visit the link in bio for for example, a coupon good off your next order with us for 20%. There's no credible information that shows that if you use that a bunch, you're going to get dumbed down in your reach. If that were the case, I'd be telling my students in Socialgram shortcut first and then everyone else later. Keep the questions coming down below. Don't apologize for asking the questions. There's no such thing as a stupid question. I'm going to be 50 in October. I'm not super young. I get that for some people, especially if you're not techie, even in your late 30s, this could be a little bit like, what all? Who now? But Onika should be selling regularly, and her products aren't cheap. They are gorgeous. They are designer. We're talking furniture. We're talking, like, seriously, if she can make sales on Instagram on the regular, anybody can at any price point, no matter what your niche, pitch, product, and situation is. If you go to Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill on Instagram, you'll see we don't quite have, last I checked, 5,000 followers on Instagram. Let me get out of this. Let me go to Joe's. Yeah, we have 4,671 followers as this is live. And yet we will do hundreds to $1,000 or more in sales every single week, do or die situation. Every single week. We don't run ads. I couldn't even tell you how to run ads on Instagram. We don't need them. And you don't need like 10,000 or more followers on Instagram or whatever number of followers on TikTok in order to be able to sell well. Don't go for the head fake. Really don't. In fact, I have videos on this channel that say why you don't need to be Instagram famous and why you don't need to be TikTok famous either. You really don't. Watch those videos because that will explain a lot to you. Okay, so let me say there are definitely more people joining us. So if you're just joining the stream, I want to let you know that I'm answering your entrepreneur mom, entrepreneur parent questions, and your content marketing questions, whether you're an entrepreneur parent or not, when it comes to content marketing on social media platforms. Today, we're focusing a lot on Instagram Reels versus TikTok and why short form content marketing can be very potent. Both for your account globally and for your macro and micro conversions, including, of course, sales. If you thought 15 seconds, up to 15 seconds on Reels and up to a minute long on TikTok, you couldn't really get much done, that's a lie. I've got students that are definitely selling, some of them very, very well on TikTok, and a lot of them very, very well on Instagram. Okay, next person. School time now. Do you know which hashtags people are using? It depends upon your niche. This is a great question, school time now. It depends upon your niche, your pitch, your product, and your situation. So I would try Flick.tech free for 7 days. Play around with hashtags because you know what's really cool? When you put in even one hashtag that you're pretty sure your niche would like search on when they're looking to consume content to learn about, for example, homeschooling or distance learning or whatever. And they might want to use products and or services like yours. Or they might go, wow, I need like a tutor. And maybe that's a service that you provide. I'm just saying. So you should know your niche well enough to know what they're going to be dialing up in search on, say, Instagram. Same thing with TikTok, really. In terms of hashtags. You take one hashtag and you enter that into Flick.tech. Boom. It's going to give you a whole bunch of other recommendations, not just in a generalized sense. Flick.tech is an approved third-party vendor for Instagram. So it is sourcing this information directly off Instagram. You can get it in columnar information. You can get it in a report. You can get it in like bubbles for mind mapping, or at least to see 30,000 foot view. And that's going to tell you the additional hashtags that you should use that work on Instagram. They're not only going to show you how many people have posted with that hashtag that you could get by reverse engineering off Instagram, to be fair. The next step is that they show you the level of engagement in whatever form you wanted to have Flick.tech show you the information in. So maybe it's columnar, maybe it's in like a cluster kind of form. They're going to show you a whole bunch of information, like how much engagement certain hashtags get. Hashtags that kind of might have a lot of use, but it's kind of like not so many people are using it anymore. That's going to tell you the hashtag school time now and everyone else. Because here's your problem. On TikTok, on Instagram, and on Twitter, any place, any social media platform where hashtags are king, And I just gave you basically the holy trinity of those three. If you aren't good at using the right kind of hashtags, I don't care if you use hashtags or not, or if you use like to the max hashtags that you're allowed to do, like say whatever you can fit in a TikTok caption, up to 10 on an Instagram story piece of content, up to 30 for reels, for IGTV or an Instagram feed post. If you're not using the right kinds of hashtags, or you're trying to use hashtags that are so popular that you're going to be buried in seconds, it's like you're wasting your time. And I hate to see you do that. So hopefully that answers your question, school time now. If not, let me know. Dawn Molitor says, I've been adding stories from my feed by sharing it to stories. That's awesome. And as long as you leave that toggle set in its default position, you should be publishing your reels in 3 places: your feed post, to the reels sector of your account now, and to stories. Good for you, Dawn. That's killing 3 birds with 1 stone. Monica Santana says, should the Facebook personal page then be public and not private since the link is in the bio? Yes. If you're going to be social media marketing, I argue your timeline has to be public. I found that it's been very, very super rare, and I work my timeline like crazy for personal and for business reasons, and I do lives on them. It's very rare that I see a weirdo there. It's very rare. You are welcome, Miss Jane. Monica says, clicking on your Instagram image, it says your story, and then it will get you to stories and reels. Yes. Yeah, the Instagram story creator is like the easiest way I've found to get to reels. That's where you would go to do lives, for those of you who are like, well, at least I do Instagram lives. If you're not saving your Instagram lives as IGTVs, that's a shame, because again, you can put up to 2,200 characters. Again, in that case, the hashtags really, to me, should be part of that post that's created to go along with the IGTV. IGTVs still get very, very good bonus reach. Reels gets the best right now because it's the newest, and they're trying to beat up TikTok. Bridget says, I pre-make videos and then add stickers and stuff in the app. That's fine. I do get on camera a little, and my friends like those more than my niche. That's okay. That's okay. And I think your niche might over time get to know you more. The more you're used to being in front of the camera and being your brand leader or brand advocate. So if you are on, I have a branding basic series that has like 12 shorter videos on them a piece. That's a playlist for those people who are really good at using YouTube, but they're one of the 100+ videos that I have on this channel. By the way, if you're just dropping in new, make sure that you subscribe and click the bell notification. I do plan on going live on YouTube Fridays at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm definitely going to have to wrap up after an hour, hour and a half, because then I have to go into a student group and coach there. But I plan on doing that on Fridays. Today isn't Friday as I'm shooting this live. This is just my celebratory, yay, I hit over 1,000 subs on YouTube. I'll actually be putting out a video about that journey. Not so much a personal journey. Me is dull, dull, dull. That's to help you guys out. So if YouTube is important for your business in terms of video marketing and advertising, and I argue it should be, you can at least go, oh, okay, these are some shortcuts or tips that Stacey gives so that you can get to 1,000 subs on YouTube in well under a year. You really can do that. And some of you might do it faster than me. Let's see. Carrie says, does Reels disappear 24 hours like story? That's a really good question. And the answer is no. When I go to my account, nope, I went to the wrong thing. When I go to my profile, my reels are there. So again, this is in dark mode, but it might be a little hard to see. If you go to the Stacey Storino Instagram account, hey, make sure that you follow me there. I did get injured. I did tear my medial meniscus, so I might have surgery. So I started creating Instagram reels and then got injured. So, but there are IGTVs in here. There's Instagram reels in here. And as you can see, when you go there, the reels are there. I made these reels days ago, and they're still there. So they do stay. In the upper, right-hand corner, you'll see a symbol either for reels or for IGTV. So that tells you the difference. This was a dummy account that I created for my for my Socialgram shortcut course. If you really want to see where a lot of my content marketing efforts go, you'd have to go to my family's business, which is Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill. So I'm really not on Instagram as well. Hey, and on TikTok as well. I'm not the shoemaker that has no shoes. But if you want to see how Reels and IGTV both hang out, one thing that I would also point is when I say the Reels sector versus the IGTV sector, see how just above, either here on the live or the replay, or just go to the Instagram account for Stacey Storino, Stacey with an EYSTORINO, all one word, of course, and you will see like right above the feed post and under the highlights, you can see like the little line of icons. So one would be the 9 squares. That's going to take somebody to your feed. Then you can see the Reel symbol and you can see the IGTV symbol. And then you can see where the @ mentions are, right? So, and one of my students must have @ mentioned me on my dummy account. Yay, but I am actually going to start developing that account more. So take a look, see, it's still there. And that's another great benefit, Carrie, of creating Reels, because it doesn't disappear. Stories, you can save that content to your highlights. School time now. I have no Instagram or TikTok or YouTube. How are you seeing me here? Because this is streaming only on YouTube. School time now. So yeah, you do. You have YouTube. We are an organic grass-fed farm with a crappy phone that has no room in it. Not much cast. What to do first? Okay. All right. I love when people try to do this. I've had some students go, oh, it's really hard for me. I was born into welfare. I get it. I know, my mom was like 19 when she had me. We didn't have much. I know how hard it is. So if you have a quote unquote crappy phone that has no room on it, you must be watching YouTube, because this is the only place I'm streaming this. So you at least have that. So maybe YouTube marketing is what you need to do, because you have to work where you're at. So if you're an organic grass-fed farm, I'm going to, and it's okay that you don't have quote unquote much cash. What to do first? Well, you have to work with what you got, which is currently the phone that you have, school time now, and the YouTube app that you clearly have, because that's the only place I'm live streaming for. Not to be a buster. You might not be really good at tech. Back in 2015, I wasn't the best either, but I was learning. But I'm just trying to tell you, like, if I came from nothing and nowhere, you can too. The fact that you even have a grass-fed farm, you have a heck of a lot more than my mother and I did, practically living out of a car for a bit and then living with my grandmother because we had nowhere else to go. So I can tell you, you have to get out there. You have to go where the attention is. And the attention, thankfully for you, is also on YouTube as well. A lot of the world is using YouTube as their TV. So anybody that you think is going to buy whatever it is that your grass-fed farm sells, is it livestock? Is it fresh fruits and vegetables? Are you raising, microgreens? What are you selling? So whatever it is that you're selling, you should do some sort of live stream or create a video, with the crappy phone, because a lot of them, even going back to the iPhone 5 or the Android equivalent, you just use your phone. Use your phone, you use natural lighting, that's all you need, or electric lighting, and you just will have to play with it and place, things around in terms of where the sun is, or, electric lights in a room, if you're showing like canned goods or preserves or microgreens that you sell indoors, and you can take a video and edit it. If you have a crappy old iPhone, it should have iMovie in it, and even if it seems perfectly primeval, you should be able to edit that in iMovie and not have to spend a dime. If you have an Android phone or some other operating system, there tend to be free apps in the App Store. Yes, you'll see commercials as you're editing the video that you shot with your phone. But if you have the ability to see me, then you have the you have the YouTube app. If you have the YouTube app, you are on a phone that likely either has a video editing feature built in, or you can download something on the in the App Store and edit. Or you could at least live stream to your YouTube account, which is clearly school time now. You have to have a YouTube account to see this. So you can start from there. So even if you're shooting live streams where you're demoing your products or showing off your livestock, hashtags aren't so important on YouTube school time now. So I wouldn't sweat those. But I would make sure that the title of your YouTube video is something that, again, a customer like yours would be searching on. So when they're going to YouTube, because people can also go to YouTube to buy Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill. So take a look at the Joe's Dairy Bar. Oh, is it Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill or Joe's Dairy Bar? Sorry, I don't want to close this out accidentally. But let me look up Joe's because I want to make a point to school time now. Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill. Yes, so that's the name of our YouTube account. So school time now, look up Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill. These were videos that we shot with a camera phone and we edited with iMovie and we edited it ourselves and we put them up. And I can't tell you how many cake and designer dessert orders or orders for our designer burgers that we got. So people do come to even YouTube, not just to stream TV or to watch stuff for fun and entertainment. They do that too, but they also come to YouTube to like look up not just tutorials and stuff, but look up stuff as inspiration to buy. So school time now, you can definitely do that. Jane Wilson, I found stories and reels. Yay, Jane! Everybody be like, yay, Jane. My microphone was not turned on for Instagram. I turned it on, and now I get to the screen you were showing me. Thank you, Stacey. Yay, Jane. Yes. I'm very happy that you did that. Ooh, so if you're having a hard time opening up the Reels feature in Instagram, and you're like, but Stacey, I updated the app. I updated my operating system. I did the cold restart on my phone. You're a jerk. I can't find it. Check your permissions, because I know that some people did not allow the camera and or the microphone, like Jane just said. Good for you, Jane. Thank you for reminding me. But they were like, whoa. You know, once I allowed all those permissions, because otherwise, how are you going to shoot a Reels, right? Boom. They were able to restart everything, do a fresh, cold restart. Boom. They were able to do it. I don't even know if Jane did that. Don't be overwhelmed. School time now. There's always hope. Onika says, I have 2,482 of this morning. Yeah, on Instagram. You don't need like tons of followers. That's a lie. Please make sure that if you guys, first of all, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. Hit that bell notification so I can help coach you for free at least once a week. Why not? And check out why you don't need to be TikTok famous and or why you don't need to be Instagram famous. The videos do have some of the same information in them. Some people will just want to consume my TikTok stuff. Some people will just want to consume my Instagram stuff. But then there's like tweaks and data and stuff that's specific to each of the apps too. So watch one of those videos, watch both. It'll be fine. Ooh, G. Morgan, can you address imposter syndrome, especially if I'm not in my niche? And the niche is notorious for not buying outside their own, learning the lingo, but I want to be clear and honest too. That's a great one. Okay, so obviously it seems very intuitive that you could sell to your niche all day long if you wanted to, right? Because you're one of them in a lot of cases. But there are plenty of people who are not members of their niche that sell to their niche all day long. So, I do have people that will sell like prayer beads and stuff like that to Christians and Catholics, but they're not I have people who can sell stuff for like yoga and spiritual practice, but they don't do it at all or much themselves. I've, had a student that sold Renaissance costumes. Is that you, Ginger, by the way? I don't think so. But I had a student who at one point asked this very same question in another one of my groups a couple months back, where she said, I'm concerned because I don't go to the Renaissance fairs and I certainly don't dress up in the Renaissance costumes, but I love creating them. And if I'm recalling this right, I said, fine, it's not like your niche is going to turn their back to you, and it's not just let the products speak for themselves, because sometimes that'll work out great and sometimes it doesn't. But I was like, why did you start creating Renaissance costumes? And I believe it's because her kids went to the Renny Fair, but she went once and didn't dig it, something like that. So, hey, there's a story where I wouldn't focus on the fact that you didn't dig the Renaissance Fair in this example. But I would be like, listen, even though I don't tend to go, my kids do, and I love creating them, and I love creating period costumes, and it's just so much fun for me, and it's a labor of love. And so that's why I have this business. So Ginger, what kind of business are you in? So this way I can help you a little bit more. I do have one student that claims that they have difficulty because they're selling handmade yarmulkes and they're not Jewish. And they're like, oh, the Hasidic Jews are like so closed as a community. And they are. That's their religious beliefs. I'm not criticizing them. We don't do that here either. So nobody slam on them or anybody else. Hate has no home here, okay? And I'm not saying y'all are going to hate, but there's people on the replay too. And you never know what washes ashore when you make these lives public, right? So this is the thing. Ginger, definitely you have to learn the lingo when you're not a member of your niche, because that's going to have a lot to do with the keywords that you're going to pick. That's going to have a lot to do with the hashtags that you're going to use, which are basically keywords with a hashtag in front of them or a hexadecimal symbol or a pound symbol in front of them, right? Because on platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, a lot of content is indexed and or stored or organized on those platforms by the hashtags, but they are increasingly doing keyword sensitive searches too, because people do toggle between both. And that's really kind of why. But, learning the lingo is important, wanting to be clear and honest. So depending upon what you sell, let me know if you're still here, G Morgan. I hope you are. What you sell, so I can kind of give you a more specific thought on it. But basically, do what I just did for the example for the woman with the Renaissance costumes, where she talks about her love of doing it, and she gives the nexus or the causal connection between her business and her as a brand leader, and why she not just loves what she does, but she loves and respects who she does it for. Usually that's enough. In the case of the yarmulke lady, my attitude and beatitude is, why are you trying so hard to sell to the Orthodox Jewish community? Because of faith-based stuff, they tend to stick to their own. There's so many other Jews out there that are not strictly Orthodox. Your beautiful yarmulkes, I'm sure many of them would love to buy. There's millions of Jews that are not Orthodox. So sometimes we have to take a step back. Maybe we've gone too narrow if we're not a member of our niche. Usually that's not a problem. In her case, it is. Imposter syndrome is a little bit different than what you're talking about, I think, in that you're just wondering how to appropriately do your branding, your creation story. G Morgan and everybody else, if you've not seen my Branding Basics series, you should do that. So when you go to my YouTube channel and you're kind of on the home screen for it, playlists is along the menu up top. So just tap or click that and it'll be the Branding Basics series. I name all my playlists so you won't get lost. But you can be a brand leader that's not a member of your niche the way I described. Imposter syndrome is kind of a little bit different the way I usually treat it, where somebody's in business and they go, even if they are a member of their niche, and even if they kind of really do believe that they're talented, they still go, well, I don't have the right to do this. A lot of coaches and course creators tend to suffer from this a lot harder and faster than product-based people, but I'm not saying that can't happen to product-based people too. Stories and stoneware. How do you deal with awkward silences on lives? I did some silences with drinking tea and prepping it, but for my dragon-themed tea party, but I wasn't sure if you had other things that you could do. Yeah, be careful. Like, don't play music on these things because you can get content strikes on lives no matter what the platform, even Facebook lives. You can get a content strike on a Facebook live. So like my husband one time when I was doing a live for Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill like a year or two ago, I mean, it was around the holidays and I had like a Santa hat on and all this crazy stuff and it lit up. And he's like, ooh, let's play music in the background. I was like, nope, can't do that because we literally could have our account penalized and the live shut down over it. So not music, not music. Sipping tea is fine, or sipping a beverage. I have to do it just because I'm a little hoarse right now. Hold on. Thank you. I don't mean to be rude, just a little sippy. If you've got silences on lives, no matter what the platforms are, if you're making announcements or doing presentations, you can always circle back and start over again. So at Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill, what I do on live sometimes, and go to my Facebook page. We have nearly 11,000 people following the page alone. My lives can get 2,000 and 3,000 people live and on the replay combined, like it's nothing on a Facebook page. Okay. So I know what I'm talking about. And like, what I have found I have to do is I will circle back to the beginning and do my announcements again. And I'll say for the benefits of the people who are just showing up now, especially while I'm live, let me re-say these things just to make sure I've covered all my bases. So you can sip drinks. Don't blow your nose unless God forbid you have to, because that's kind of, people could be like, ew, that's gross. But you could also think about it when you're doing like a product demo or like a digital trunk show and you get like an awkward silence, you could ask them to do hashtag live, hashtag replay. That'll really help you out. The algorithm will push it out to more people, both live and on the replay. That's true. You're not lying to them. That's something easy that people can do. Because if they're still on the live, I mean, somebody may have walked away and gone to the bathroom, but overall, if they're still on the live, that's not a hard thing to ask people to do. Or you could ask them for another, what I call micro conversion. You could ask them to give a thumbs up. Like I'm going to do right now, everybody. Make sure that you give a thumbs up on this, especially people who just joined us live. If you're just joining the stream, make sure that you subscribe to my channel, click the bell notification and select all. So this way, when I go live on Fridays, this is a celebratory live stream, but when I go live on Fridays, you'll get the notification if you care to come live. So, you can do calls to action like that. Andrea, you can restate announcements for the benefits of anybody who shows up live. You could also say, you know what, I forgot to mention like some features about this particular product that I'm showing off, or this is how like take 2, 3 of my products and put it together for a solution set. So I teach a lot of my students core plus 2, which means a core item, which tends to be the most expensive, but not always. It's the item that people would be searching on or want from you most, because that's going to address the need or the problem that they need most or quickest. And then there may be the plus 2 is like 2 additional products that when blended together with the core product is an even more complete solution, or it could be, more products pop up afterwards. And so we're going to those extra 2 pieces can help you handle the next product, the next problem rather, or clear the next hurdle, or there's 2 problems that happen. So the core takes care of the big problem or satisfies the deepest held desire. And the next 2 pieces in the plus 2, which tend to be less expensive, but not always, it's not a bright line. This will make the experience even more fun or even more complete or solve even more problems. Get it? So maybe that's what you do to fill up silences too. I hope that helped you, Miss Andrea. I hate the awkward silences, says Els Elations. Don't we all? But you have to be patient, because part of the reason why there might be awkward silences is that there might only be a couple of people there. However, you can kind of break the seal with them by, going hashtag live, hashtag replay, give this a thumbs up, share it out if you know of someone else who might be interested in what I'm discussing, or you could even ask them if they have any questions to post it down below. I would always follow that with a chaser on Facebook, where it's like, if for some reason, you don't want to ask me openly, you can ask me using Facebook Messenger. Believe it or not, typically when someone reaches out on Messenger, you probably can close them even easier because they may have a bunch of questions and they might not want to hijack the live stream. They're being polite or they're embarrassed. They don't want to, whatever. So do that. Boop, 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 boop. So imposter syndrome is more like, why should I be in business, or why am I an expert? By the way, if you spend 20 hours or more studying something, you know more than the average person out there about anything. Boom, you're an expert. You can also get certified for almost anything out there through a certification service for like 65 to $100 USD. Boom, now you're a certified expert. Ask me how I know. That's how I became a certified life coach. Yep. And they'll give you digital seal and stuff like that. And some of these companies are bigger. Don't spend thousands of dollars. You don't need it. Nowhere on earth is like a life coach, for example, a certification to be a life coach, or even a certification to be a nutritionist. Nowhere on earth is that regulated. Licenses are regulated. Boom, you're an expert. Difficult to get a following in my niche, even though I'm careful about what has been posted. Can you tell me what your niche is, Miss Morgan, so I can help you? Jane's getting more help from Monica. Monica's awesome. Ann McDonald, love your enthusiasm. Lots of great info and takeaways. You rock. So do you, Miss Ann. Thank you so much. I hope I got a live out of you. Subscribe and hit that bell notification. You don't want to miss more. And there's plenty of stuff on here for you to consume when you all are not on a live with me. I do have the plan to publish daily because I may have surgery coming up that may or may not affect my lives. However, I'm going to record a whole bunch of stuff sitting on a stool in my studio. You can probably see some of the lights behind me. So I will try to get out at least a week's content in advance and have it just scheduled to come out on my channel. So there should be daily to near daily content on here always. Let me know about your niche. You're being all... you're the one that's selling to the Orthodox Reform synagogues. Okay. I was thinking of you, Ginger. Okay. So listen, and I think you do have like some buyers, but not a lot, and they're great. Especially in that community, if they're going to walk on the wild side and buy from you, they may just keep buying from you, which is cool. But I think you're trying too hard. I think that there's so many millions of Jews out there that need yarmulkes. You should easily be selling to them. It is a rare day, although not impossible, to go too niche. And this is one of them. You should back up off Orthodox Jews. I mean, continue to try to sell to the contacts that you have. I respect that. But definitely sell to Jews in general. My God, I don't know. And now this might come into the imposter syndrome thing. Now you have me fascinated, Ginger, because now I know for sure it's you. Ginger, let me tell you something. Maybe that's the imposter syndrome. I don't know. And this isn't therapy or nothing like that. Let me throw out the disclaimer. I'm a lawyer. I have to be careful. Okay. I'm an attorney, but I'm not your attorney, guys. In the past, I've represented people, but my practice has been closed to new people since December 2016. I may be able to discuss legal issue spotting, but I'm never going to give you legal advice. I am a certified life coach, but I'm not a counselor. I'm not a psychiatrist or a licensed talk therapist or anything of that nature, but I can be supportive to members in my community. I can give you advice as a friend that way, and I may be able to help you with issue spotting on that front, like I'm about to do with Ginger. And I've got some basic solutions and suggestions. If you find that you're still struggling after I give you advice, there's no shame in this game. I've gone to a psychiatrist to deal with loss and to deal with PTSD, so I am not throwing shade, and I am not being flip. Okay, I'm being serious. After what I say to you, Ginger, if you're still finding that you're super resistant to not going back a little and broadening your niche to people who are outside of the Orthodox community. Again, whomever you're selling to, if it ain't broke, don't fix that. But if you're feeling like an imposter and you're so not obsessed, that's a wrong, but you're so concerned about selling to the Orthodox Jew community. I dated a Jewish dude. We're not married for a reason. He wasn't Orthodox, but his mother still didn't want us to marry. But I know that there's a spectrum with Jews from having dated him for several months, and he had a lovely family. He really did. And it's very well known. See, I'm not Jewish. I'm Roman Catholic. I know. Crazy, right? And I dated a Russian Jew, and that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. Oleg! But anyway, we're still friendly. But the whole bottom line is, I understand that there's the Orthodoxy, then there's Reformed, and then there's Jews that are very, very relaxed in their faith. You can sell yarmulkes all day long to the vast majority of these people. So, that's what I'm saying. So if you're struggling with imposter syndrome, this is where my disclaimer kind of comes in, everybody. Let me tie the loop here. Let me close the loop here. The imposter syndrome might be holding you back, where you really have a passion to do this, and that's fine. And you might be really talented, and that's great. And you might be really great at knocking out gorgeous designer yarmulkes, and that's superb. But trying to dumb down your ability to have success by focusing on a niche that, painting with a broad brush, I'm sure there's some exceptions, are going to turn their backs to you. Why? Because you're holding yourself back. Maybe it's a self-worth issue, and I do feel badly for you. Lots of us have been there in one way or another. So this is the deal. There's no need to feel like an imposter. You don't have to be Jewish at all. You could be selling to a whole bunch of people who are Jewish. You just, not the vast majority of them are going to be Orthodox. You may be hamstringing yourself because you're scared of being super successful. And to be fair to Ginger and everyone else out there, believe it or not, while many people are afraid of failure, and rightfully so, there are people who really have big hangups in bigger numbers than you'd think about being afraid of success. And that may or may not have something to do with what Ginger identified as imposter syndrome. And I'm concerned because I don't want somebody hiding their light under a bushel basket, but that's me getting all Roman Catholic. Bridget says, hey, Tony, what's going on? Do you have any questions for me, Anne, by the way? Bridget says, are there awkward silences when you're using a script? Maybe you have a list of quick tips or jokes to fill the silence. There's nothing wrong with that. You want to build up rapport with your community. In the beginning, we all start from zero, whether it's lives or just social media accounts in general. So you start small and you build over time, right? So that's the thing. In the beginning, when there's fewer people, if you're not trying to actively engage them enough with jokes, with small talk, talking shop if you're a member of your niche, doing a core +2 solution set, little known facts, tips, tricks, repeating your opening announcements, right? You can fill in the silences. You can get them to do easy micro conversions, even if there's just 2 or 3 of them there. But over time, as you persistently and consistently do lives and continue to create content, more and more people will start to show up. I started doing live streaming early to mid 2016 for Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill. And it did take a matter of months before I started to get up from, a handful to dozens to hundreds to thousands, and I still get them now, no matter how much everybody thinks Facebook pages dumb down reach, and they may, that doesn't stop my community. But don't forget, I spent a lot of time building that community up. All of you have to do that, or for those of you who are intermediate or advanced students of mine, you've had to do that too. Intermediate and advanced, they've made peace with what I'm telling them, and plenty of them have thriving communities at various sizes, and they sell all the time, or at least regularly, even through social media, let alone their email list, let alone through their website. So you can do any of that stuff that you want, Bridget. You're the brand leader. So your nature has to come through into the overall brand experience that you're serving up. I hope this makes sense. Oh, I'm back to school time now. Thank you, Beef and Sheep with Honey. Trouble uploading with crappy phone. Okay, but you can live stream to your YouTube channel, which is clearly school time now. That's the account through which you're doing stuff to. So you could live stream and just title the live stream. And there's YouTube videos that walk you through how to live stream. It's free. You don't need gear. You can work with the phone that you have. For things like Honey, yes, I would work with either natural light coming into the room where you're at or electrical light and just readjust. And that's fine for your live. And then you can save it so you can create videos that way. Start with how you have to start. Okay. In terms of the livestock, Beef and Sheep. Yay. I love sheep. So sheepies. My son's favorite toy was a sheep, and we called him Sheepy. And we still have Sheepy because I'm like that. I'm sentimental. What can I say? But yeah, for the sheep and the livestock, you're probably going to have to do that during daylight hours. And it's a matter of experimentation. It really, really is. You don't need gear. You don't need to spend money. If YouTube's all you've got access to, then YouTube's where you start. You know where you're lucky there? Because like I said, with Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill and with the cakes and the videos there, like take a look at Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill on YouTube, and you can see how like I do basic walkthroughs of cakes. And actually, when you look at a lot of the videos, they have very similar scripts or frameworks. They really do. And they're edited and they're not live streams like how School Time Now has to do. But just for now, because you're starting where you start. But you just, all you have to do really in the beginning, because you're just a beginner, right? You're just going to title your video so that someone who's likely to be your customer would find it in search. That's it. You just start there and you get used to it. You work with whatever electrical light or sunlight you have, and that's it. Because I can tell you how many YouTube creators started like that, including Jacksepticeye. And a lot of you who have children or grandchildren or happen to be gamers yourselves, Jack, oh boy, oh my goodness, how many, he started with nothing. He started with his camera phone. He started with natural light. He started with an old computer that was embarrassing for him as a gamer and as somebody that wanted to up level. He was in the middle of nowhere in Ireland, living on a piece of property with his parents in a tiny house made of pine. Jacksepticeye did. And he grew. So basically he did like a lot of streaming of his games because he didn't have like a bunch of fancy video editing stuff. He took the mattress from his cot and put it up against the wall to absorb the sound. He was playing with the sound quality, to be fair. Today, Jacksepticeye has 24.5 million subscribers. He is one of the most successful YouTubers on earth. And he started from literally dirt and pine and a mattress and his crappy old device. Boom. Stones and Story. Andrea, I do have a loose script. And that's fine. Some people do better with scripts. Some people do good with bullet notes. You know, some people just have rough notes. Do what works. Just work it. That's all. There's no one right way to do this. We were talking about our favorite dragons. I was interacting with my followers and waiting for responses from them. And that's fine. And if you're waiting for responses, go, while I'm waiting for a response for you, let me talk about, you know, my favorite movie with dragons, my favorite song with dragons, my favorite poem with dragons. Like, come up with something to fill the space or the gap. Okay, Ginger, Rita Lara. Hey, Miss Rita, what's going on? Great job explaining things, Stacey. You're welcome. Thank you. And you're welcome. Rita, did you see in one of the student groups, was it Signature Frosting? I think I had told you, like, when it comes to getting people to sign up for our email list, like, they're bringing the device, or their kid or their grandkid has a device, and they just go to our website and they sign up there. Okay, Ginger, I didn't read that. I hadn't gotten to this yet. I want to keep the politics out of it. Me too. And I'm not trying to sell to the Orthodox. Reformed synagogues are who buys. Okay, so why aren't you trying to just sell to individual Jewish members of the Jewish faith? And how about yarmulkes for the whole family that match the theme? Or have the same or similar decor? I would not be trying to sell to, I mean, unless you have some takers, okay, that's cool that you did that. Okay, so like you're missing the point though. I might have missed the point, but you're still kind of missing it, Ginger. I'm really trying to help you here. You're selling yarmulkes. Jews wear yarmulkes. There are plenty of Jews that are even loose in their faith, but will just do a Seder at home. And they don't go to their like very, oh, darn it, the name of, there's different levels of the Jewish faith. And then there's some people that aren't directly observant. They won't go to temple and they won't go to mikvah or anything like that anymore. But can you tell I dated a Jew or two in my day? But seriously, and I did, and they were great, but don't try to get married, you know. And me being a lawyer didn't even help, which stunk, but that's okay. I love my husband. I'm happily married, yay. But I'm trying to make light because this is serious. But seriously, Ginger, you should just be optimizing for individual buyers and for families who will have their seders at home. And whether they go to temple or not, the individual buyers will do it. As an attorney, I can tell you, I can't even tell you around the Jewish holidays how many people who were lawyers, and I knew damn well didn't go to church, didn't go to temple and bragged about it. But during the holidays, they still needed to wear a yarmulke. And some of them did get a bit designer with them. So I know of that of which I speak. You could probably sell to a whole lot more people. You have to go from more like a mass quantity purchase and or a wholesale mindset to a retail mindset. And I know from decades of life experience, Ginger, that you'll sell. Avani, Jacqueline, you could have lunch on camera and it wouldn't bother me. Yeah, I mean, that's true too. Thank you. But for those people of awkward silences, you can sip. Don't have anything messy. Now isn't the time to like have a freaking taco or anything. But, you know, you could have like bite-sized pieces of fruit and goes, oh, guys, I'm really hungry, like really fast. What are you guys eating? What are you guys drinking? I know that when Renee Christine, my mentor and the mentor of a lot of other people too, that are on this live and on this replay, I know that when Renee did lives more, she would often ask what people were eating or drinking and stuff like that. You know, because most of us are. And though those of us who aren't on the camera, for sure, you're probably eating or drinking something at some point. Stones and Stoware. Thank you, Stacey, for the help. You are welcome. Miss Tony. Avani, I know I'm way behind because I am watching the replay. You're not because we're live, Avani, but that's okay. But what I would really love is to see reels allowing for 60-second long clips. Also, duet/react like TikTok would be good too. And the reason why they may not do that feature, the duet or the react, is because maybe they don't want a lawsuit from TikTok that they wholesale stole their stuff. Because I know Avani's been creating both types of content. She's been super good. She got on it pretty quickly. I do want to praise her for that. I know that some of her TikToks have gotten incredible reach. Avani, share the one that got the best. Was that the one with the eggshells? Holy moly. She was putting eggshells in a mortar and pestle and preparing spell components, I believe. Because now we're going to go from Roman Catholic and Jewish to Wicca and pagan. Why not? Hate has no home here. We all belong. That's awesome. Ooh. Onika, for the person selling yarmulke, I'm a Black Christian married to a Jewish man, and we have raised our children Jewish. I'm planning my daughter's bat mitzvah, and I had to buy yarmulkes. I have tons of Jewish friends that are planning bar and bat mitzvahs that you can sell to. Ginger says, yes, I know I'm not going to get Orthodox Jews to buy. I'm not selling to them. Okay, I got the clarification. My bad. It's hard to talk to a newsletter publisher. So why are you doing that, though? Why don't you just have, like, if you're on Etsy, then why don't you just, you may not be on Etsy, but if you're on Etsy, because a lot of product-based people are, or Amazon handmade or whatever, if you're there, you could just optimize. Now, I'm not an Etsy expert. For that, go to Starla Moore on YouTube, okay? Starla, Starla, Moore, Moore. I love me some Miss Starla. We're friendly. Go to her. She rocks. She also has Handmade Alpha Academy if you need to really rule on Etsy. But a lot of my students aren't products based. A lot of them are and are like, nah, I'm not on Etsy, or I'm just on Etsy to use it as a traffic source, but I'm driving it to my website because I want to build up my email list and I want to keep all the contact information I want to sell to everybody all the time. That's how I teach my students to do it. But Onika's right. Like, why are you worrying about Ginger? Is there something I'm missing? Because it could be. It's been a long time. I've been married for many years now. It's been a long time since I dated a Jew who was a male nurse, and then a Russian Jew who went to law school with me. So I could be missing something. Why are you trying to sell or talk to newsletter publishers? That's not necessary. You could just be selling this through social media and or through your own website. Or if you're on Etsy, for sure do that. Why are you trying to hand sell it? That's not going to work for you, because that's going to bring you, unless you know like a ton of Jews yourself, which is great, then you can hand sell this stuff. But if you don't, or you don't know enough to have your business do business often enough, then why are you not selling through social media at least? Why are you not? I'm missing something. And I want to help you, and I'm frustrated. But that's my problem. It's not yours. But Onika's making a point. Candace Woods, I have played around with niches from entrepreneurs to fashion moms to teachers. Holy crikey, you've been all over the place. I come from all three backgrounds, but just hanging out on the live, I'm sticking to entrepreneur fashion moms. I help handmade fashion leather. Oh, I make handmade fashion leather goods to help a woman get their sexy back. That's cool. Fashion is a heavy niche that has to be niched down for sure. Yes, you do. So I get the bringing sexy back, but where's the, and I'm not saying there isn't one, Candace, right? I'm not selling to your niche. So don't get mad at me, but like, tell me, like, what's the connection or the nexus between an entrepreneur mom and your business? How do you get them? How is entrepreneur mom your niche for that? You may very well have the answer. G. Morgan, to get advertising started in the newsletter, I am going to the source as Facebook and Instagram have been crickets. Ginger, you're in the conversion coven. I'm going to pick you next, okay? I'm going to pick you next as a business in the conversion coven. And I want you to do a post in there. Give me your Facebook and Instagram handles. You are doing something wrong. With all due respect, you're doing something wrong. Because I know plenty of people that are selling all sorts of stuff, even if it's religious and spiritual of different types, and they are selling. They're absolutely selling. Something's wrong. If it's been crickets, the live chat is much faster than even you can talk on. No, I appreciate that. Kelly Faulkner Williams, I'm loving this. Monica Santana, Stacey, you're amazing. No, girl, you're amazing. I love you, girl. So glad I signed up for your trainings. Thank you, Miss Kelly. I appreciate it. Gotta go, Stacey. Thank you for today. Jane Wilson, yes. And I'm really glad that you found where stories and reels are. Play around with those. You can't break it. It's hard to do them wrong. You'll learn. You'll get better at doing the thing by doing the thing. Onika says, G. Morgan, I think you can make a ton of money selling to parents planning mitzvahs. P.S. Stacey, my Jewish mother-in-law still hates me, and it's been 14 years and 3 kids. LOL. Yes, the Russian Jew loved me so much. Me is dull, but I kind of have to. The Russian Jew, Oleg, loved me so much. So much. And he was a perfect gentleman. Like, never got naughty with me or anything. Dated me like old-fashioned times, but loved me, kissed me, loved me so much, told me he loved me. His mother got so upset. He's like, she's a fellow lawyer. She has a job coming out of law school. She's going to be working with big companies. Mama, please. She sat Shiva and wouldn't stop until he broke up with me. And then even creepier, he married somebody that was my Russian Jew doppelganger. And I'm full-blooded Italian, and I'm sure that didn't help her either. Anyway, me is dull, but I kind of had to. G Morgan, I think you can make, oh no, this is Anika talking to G Morgan. G Morgan says, trying to figure out a gauge guide so people following a pattern I could sell might get a kippa that they could wear. I sell to big and tall men mostly, and also to ladies and brisk kippa. Okay. But Ginger, you really could and should be selling on social media. So since you're one of my students, if you don't do it, I'm going to do a post, I'm going to tag you, and I'm going to call you out because I want to look at your social media accounts. You're not going to be able to post them here. It's going to be banned as spam, which is why I'm not telling you to do it here. And I got to look at your stuff because your content marketing, something's off. Something's off. Onika, send them to Etsy. Please DM me for a link. Stacey can't keep up with the chat. We're both getting frustrated. I am a little frustrated because I know that you can sell, Ginger. And I know that especially post-COVID, post-unrest world, a lot of people are like, you know what? Hard pass on going out much. I'm going to order online. And some people are hanging back from their religious observances and doing them virtually at home. So, they may or may not be getting newsletters and stuff like that, but they are on social media. They're on Instagram up to 53 minutes to an hour a day, separately on Facebook for the same amount of time. So honestly, I know that you can do this. Janice, good afternoon. G. Morgan, I will. Okay, thank you for helping her, Anika. Candace Woods, a vision for entrepreneurs who are having business meetings and looking for fashion accessories to make great impressions. The mom aspect are definitely for women who are looking to feel sexy again. I agree. Sounds too much just typing. I don't know that it's too much. You might want to try smoothing it out just a little. I don't think it's bad. If you could get it to one sentence that's like 60 seconds or less for you to say, then you've nailed your pitch very well. If you haven't, Candace, go through my Branding Basics series on my YouTube channel. That may help you do that. 20 hours? 20 hours of what? Miss Rita, what's the 20 hours for? Online newsletters. Okay, online newsletters. Okay, Ginger. But this is the thing. I still think I agree with Onika in your case. I still think, Ginger, or G Morgan on YouTube, I still think you're going to be selling to individual families. That's really where your niche is going to be, okay? Even if it involves big and tall men, even if it involves kippa stuff, even if it involves yarmulkes, or whatever it is that you're creating, it doesn't matter. I still think you're going to be going through the families and the online shoppers of today, which may mean younger families, but they're still likely millennial families. And millennial family members have money, especially for religious observances, especially for what do I want to say? Life events. They do. 20 hours to be an expert. Yes, Regine. Yes, 20 hours. Do about 20 hours of studying, and odds are that you are way ahead of anybody else. There was a story. Oh, who saw the movie? Tell me down below. Catch me if you can. Leonardo DiCaprio was in it. Was it Tom Hanks was in it too? But it was definitely Leonardo DiCaprio. This was based on a real story where the villain, the anti-hero, who Leonardo DiCaprio played in that movie. And I don't know if this part made the movie, but it was in the book where he went to a college campus. The teacher never showed up. The professor never showed up, but he was smart and he was well read. So he had read a couple chapters ahead, and he got up and he impersonated the professor. And for some crazy reason, this is back many decades ago, for some crazy reason, the professor had never showed up. The guy continued to teach class, and everybody believed that he was the professor. And he said, all I had to do was be a chapter ahead. And they believed me. That guy was the antichrist of having imposter syndrome. So I'm not saying just be one chapter ahead, but 20 hours of like studying, research, training really will put you ahead of the pack and really can qualify you to be an expert. It does not take much. Kelly says she saw it. Met the man at my school years ago. The movie was fun. Yes, it was. But that's the whole point. Like, you don't have to be your niche. You don't have to be the biggest expert in the world. You don't have to be the thought leader in your space. You don't have to be the thought leader in your space runner-up or third place. You just have to be ahead of the curve of most of the people that would be members of your niche. And just keep your finger on the pulse, keep learning, keep ahead. They're still going to really appreciate you as an expert or a thought leader in a space. So online newsletters are cool, but if you're finding that religious community or religious communities in general are resistant to you, I still like what Onika said, and that still dovetails into what I say, that I really think you should, I'm definitely going to look at your Instagram and your Facebook. Something's missing. Either you're not optimizing at all or well to be found in search, or you're using keywords and hashtags that are so huge you can't be competitive for them. But with tweaks, you can be. Does anybody have any other questions for me about... so let me talk to you about short form content marketing before I give up, okay? So, and any other questions, go ahead and ask them. That's why I'm here. I'm celebrating 1,000 plus subs on YouTube. If you're YouTube marketing, you do have to be patient. YouTube is a very mature platform, like I said earlier, for the benefit of the people who weren't here in the beginning, as I'm waiting for more questions and stuff like that. YouTube has been around for many, many, many years. So every niche, pitch, product, and sitch is pretty competitive here. But speaking of expertise, the more channel authority that you gather for something, the more people get drawn to you. You will notice, if you subscribed to me months ago, you will notice that the more I doubled down on TikTok, the harder and faster I grew. And the more often I posted, and pretty persistently and consistently, the harder and faster I grew. And now with Instagram, I'm bringing in more people, especially with Reels, and the harder and faster I grow. I'm gaining channel authority for TikTok, for Instagram, and for social media and content marketing. And so my channel will continue to grow as long as I don't way back off of publishing persistently and consistently, and as long as I keep my focus within those areas. Stones and stories and stoneware. Do you recommend using large hashtags for Reel and IGTV because they're getting pushed so much? No, I would not. And or what I would do is, if you're like, okay, Stacey, Reels and IGTV, I'm allowed to have 30 hashtags. You say use all 30 hashtags because every hashtag represents a different entrance point for me on Instagram in this case. And that's true. What I would have you do is the first 3 to 5 have the most, like, quote unquote power in terms of search, push, suggested, or anything like that on Instagram. So make sure the first 3 to 5 are hashtags that you can be competitive for. You can't use mega huge hashtags. You're wasting your time. Also, don't put, for those who know what this hashtag is, don't use ZBesties, because unless the besties are your customers, that's a mistake. I don't generally part ways with Renee on this stuff, but you are trying to sell. You're less interested in having people look up the ZBesties hashtag and, ooh, you're a bestie. You know, I think unless that's the 30th hashtag and you've run out of things, then maybe, but I would not. And I would put the hashtag having to do with the name of your business in there, but unless you're already huge, like Kelly Michelle Matthews has a huge following for her niche. Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill has a huge following for our niche. So we could put hashtags having to do with our business names up higher because people do search on that, and often with the intent to buy. So, and at least with an intent to really engage with our content. So that serves up all the right data points for the Instagram algorithm to surface. And it goes, oh, whoa, and it might push our stuff out into our followers' feeds more, or it might be easier for us to be found organically in search, or depending upon the situation, we get pushed out into suggested more. However, and Transformational Healing by Dawn, I was worrying about the same thing. Don't use large hashtags either at all in your 30 hashtag cloud for feed posts, for reels, and for IGTV, or push them all the way down to the bottom. Push them all the way down to the bottom. Those are your Hail Mary passes. Because let's be honest, if you tap on that hashtag and it's got millions of people or close to 1 million of people using that hashtag, you will be buried in seconds. And while there are some people who are willing to go to a hashtag and like skim the content, they're not going to go back millions of posts. They won't even likely go past hundreds of posts. They may go through thousands of posts if they're really bored, but I highly doubt it. So super competitive hashtags, they don't get more push. They get used more, but you get buried faster. So if you're going to use them at all, push them to the bottom. If you're new or relatively new as a business and new or relatively new at online marketing through social media or elsewhere, you can use the hashtag associated with your business, but push that to the bottom too. Kelly says, that's what I struggle with is optimization. What's the best way to sell? Kelly Faulkner Williams says, that's what I struggle with is optimization. What's the best way for handmade essential oils? I sell very, very well in person at markets. I just started. So you have to think they're not looking for you. They're not looking for your account. So on Instagram or TikTok, it's the same thing, or on any platform. So what's the intersecting interest that's going to connect somebody between you and what you sell, right? Because I use them. Are they using, so with essential oils, there are many essential oils, as you well know, as many people may know. Let me turn it away so the brand isn't showing so much. Not that that's a big deal, but especially for here. But you will notice that there's tons of essential oils, and there's tons of uses for them. Bridget knows too, if she's still on here. So you have to think when you create content that you want people to find your content. They're not searching for you. They may not be searching for your brand or the brand name that you sell if you're in direct sales, let's say, but they are looking for a solution to their problem or the satisfaction of a desire. So what hashtags and or keywords are they using when they're searching up content to consume? Having to do with stress relief, having to do with digestive issues, having to do with therapeutic massage, having to do with pain relief. Does that make sense to you? Like, because they're not going to find you. They're not looking for you. They will find you. They will find you. They'll find you by searching for the content that they want to consume, no matter who makes it. Janice, Stacey, you have lots of videos about using Instagram. How do I know what order to watch them in? There's a playlist that I have. I better double check the playlist. If you look at the playlist, the ones that I published the longest back are the ones you want to start with. So I need to like reorganize my playlist. If it's not in chronological order, starting with the oldest ones first, or you could just go into the video feed and go, okay, like tap video and not playlists, and scroll down, and wherever the first video is, start with that, because it is a series. So I kind of like do an introduction, and then I like double down on the introduction and the details in the next one. And then I go back and unpack with Instagram. And then I pepper it with Reels too, because Reels, I didn't know for sure when they were going to come out. But they came out, and Reels is definitely going to help grow your Instagram. So they kind of are in a particular order, especially in the beginning, if that makes sense. So everybody make sure you subscribe and click that bell notification. And if you like YouTube playlists, all of my content is organized in playlists. That's for sure. So you'll have a playlist for TikTok. You'll have a playlist for entrepreneur, parent, time management. You'll have a playlist for Instagram. I'm starting a separate playlist for Reels, but you could also watch things in chronological order on my channel. And there goes Ginger. Yep. Ginger's right. Janice, start with the newest date and work back. Things change, so you'll get the newest info. Yeah, by starting at the newest ones that I've published, yeah, likely. But if she wants to, for some reason, it's up to her. There's no wrong answer here. She wants to start from the beginning. That's where she should start. Good tip about the hashtags. You're welcome, Els. Elations. Bonnie McCann. Aloha, Bonnie. Yay, I'm not too late. I made it live. Kelly Faulkner Williams says, got it. Janice Hibbard says, thank you, Ginger Morgan. Yes, thank you for your leadership there. I appreciate it, Miss Morgan. Transformational Healing by Donna. I need a clone. I haven't had time to look at Flick, and I haven't clicked it until I know that I can use at least the 7 days wisely. Yes, I know, and you hired help. Can they help you more? Is this a delegation issue? I know you've watched some of my older YouTube content, Donna, and some of that's talking about a dream team. And you know what I'm talking about. If you guys are like, I need more help, I can't do this all by myself, and I don't have money to buy people yet. I'm not intermediate or advanced like some of Stacey's students. I'm a beginner like a lot of Stacey's students. I have YouTube videos. Tell me really quickly, I haven't gone dark, right? I haven't gone dark. You could probably still see me as I'm doing the live. If I messed up, I apologize. Hold on really quick. Let's see. All right. Let me know. Have I disappeared? I haven't done a ton of YouTube lives, so I'm going to start doing them weekly. So I don't want to screw anybody over and you're all staring at a dark screen. I don't think you are. I think it's like Facebook where I can open up other tabs. Just let me know. Say, can you see me? Can you not see me? Okay, so if you go back earlier in my content, if you're like, I don't know how I'll have enough time to get it all done, you want to see my Entrepreneur Mom Power Hour Tips Part 1 and Part 2. Then there's Entrepreneur Mom Time Management stuff. That will help you. Time management and Entrepreneur Mom How to Manage Time. It kind of goes back and unpacks more from the time management videos. And then also the dream team, that's important for a lot of people who need to learn how to delegate. And if you need to do it free or cheap, there's a bunch of ideas in there. And then how to keep moving forward even when you're stuck, that's in there. How to plan your life is important. So those are a lot of basics where you're like, I just don't know how to do it. And I don't have all the time and stuff like that. Okay, you can still see me. Okay, cool. What I'm going to do for the next live, which as long as they don't rush me into surgery on Thursday, I will be here as this is being shot live on Friday, August 15th. No, I'm sorry, that's Saturday. Liar. It's not even, yeah, it is August. I'm on painkillers. You probably couldn't tell because a lot of you were like, she always has energy. Yeah, it's going to be Friday the 14th at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will have to get off around 9 o'clock or so because I do have a 10 a.m. with my Socialgram Shortcut students. So that's fine, Donna. Don't click on the link until that's not going to go anywhere. You do want to use it wisely. Kelly says, I make a great paint oil. Everyone asks what's in this stuff. It's my best seller. Then you want to, especially with like older folk, like baby boomers, Gen Xers, right? And then people who are injured at any age from any generation. So you definitely want to examine like pain management stuff. There is a free tool. It's okay. You can go look up Google for display purposes only. When you do that, it'll show you like a hashtag generator. It's okay. I tried using that. And I was like, this is not good. It's okay to help me brainstorm, but it's not Flick. I needed to do Flick, and I was kind of resistant to do it. And then I used it for half a year before telling any of my students about it. Because I'm like, if I'm going to be an affiliate or they're going to sponsor anything, I got to make sure I didn't just sell my soul to the devil there. It's great. But if you're like, I'm just not going to put out money for a hashtag optimization tool, for display purposes only, it's a start. So you can put in like pain management or anything that has to do with the oil and why one would use it. Like just start with those and kind of brainstorm around. Yes, and transformational healing by Donna. Me too, Kelly. I love helping people with my pain oil. That's awesome. We have some special hands, Donna. Yep. I can see you. Okay, everybody can see me. Looking good, Stacey. Thank you, Miss Catherine. How to make lunches for the moms. I hope they're doing good. I hope the hubs is doing good and the cats. Okay, transformational healing by Donna. You need to be organized enough to hand stuff off with full instructions, or it just takes longer than doing it yourself. I'm working on it daily. Yeah, it's hard. My husband felt that way when he was training a lot of teenagers to work at Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill. It was hard to attract a mature adult. And a lot of teens can be very mature and responsible, but they're still not miniature adults. Even the older range teens. Some studies show that your brain isn't completely finished developing until you're like in your mid-20s. True story. And it's the part of the brain that manages risk best. So if you see super young 20s doing things and you're like, what the heck's wrong with them? Why are they so risky? Why are they so edgy like that? Maybe now you're not shocked. Yeah, that's true. Bridget says we make a great pain oil too. Be careful saying it's for pain unless you have FDA approval. Of course, this is for the United States, or if you're selling to anyone in the United States. We had an essential oil friend get a warning from the FDA for mentioning pain. Okay, so yeah, especially if you're just new to selling. Thank you for your leadership on that, Bridget. You might want to take what Bridget just told you, like copy it and paste sections of it into Google to start reverse engineering about all the different warnings. Because if you're not doing like direct sales and you make it yourself, because I do have direct sales students too, they have a lot of guidance from their corporate office and stuff like that, both in general with selling it by hand and then also selling it online. And there is quite a bit that you could do with social media because people with essential oils do it all the time. But if you're relatively new to selling it, especially if you make it and you don't have like a corporate office guidance or a guidebook, then take sections of what you said, paste it in Google, and start reverse engineering to see what kind of restrictions you may have. Thank you. Okay. So short form content, what can you do in 15 seconds or less, whether it's on TikTok or it's on Instagram Reels? Let me at least kind of close that loop because I opened it, 2.5 hours ago. So let me finish that. So, okay. When you are creating short form content, some of you do remember Vine, and that was only 6 seconds, and you could do a whole lot in 6 seconds. If you've ever been a listener to old school radio then and or now, even if you do 4Pay radio like Sirius XM and stuff like that, they still have like their own jingles that they put in throughout music. It's never completely jingle free. You might be paying for a version to stream music that doesn't have ads per se, but you'll still get the platform touting itself. Because you're like, why do they need to do that? I already paid. Because they want to continue to stay top of mind with you as a brand. And depending upon what jingle they do, they want to continue to make you feel like the service is a good value add, or you won't continue to pay for it. But whether you're listening on the radio old school, you're listening to stream even without ads new school, or a bit of both, 15-second radio spots or jingle spots are still a thing. You can get a lot done and or said in 15 seconds. So I'm saying that up front because I know that some people are like already telling themselves that they can't do it. It's too short. It's not even a minute. And the answer is yes, you can, because they've been doing that for decades with radio alone, and it works. Let me look up. So if you're going to say something in 15 seconds, how many, you can Google this, how many characters are in 15 seconds? Like, let's see. How many words can you say in 15 seconds? So what's a radio writer to do? A 15-second spot is between 30 to 40 words. I definitely say it's under 40. Because if you go to my Instagram account for the reels that I did do before I injured myself, well, first I had an emergency root canal. A day later, I injured myself. I'm like, facepalm. But, yeah, that was, what a week that's been. But if you look at the reels that I did, the first one that I did, that was me working off a 15-second radio commercial that I repurposed. Can be done. And you know what? For all that I had 2 reels and I had dozens and dozens of views, I got new email signups and at least one subscribe that told me on YouTube that she came from my reels, which took her to my IGTV, which took her to my YouTube. It works. Thank you. So it's hard. Let me finish my thought with Donna. Whenever you have employees, whether they're teens or super young adults or not, it's always easier and faster to do it yourself. My husband really struggled with delegating and teaching people in the beginning. He really would have rather have had adults, but what he learned as Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill got more successful and we needed people with more hours to work more often, that tends to be, you start to have adults coming in. You could have kids hustling their way through college or paying off their college debt when they first graduate. But he found that even adults that were pretty sharp, it's hard. It's always easier and faster for you in the beginning to be in the rhythm of doing what you're doing. It's like breaking in a puppy, like housebreaking it's a pain in the butt, and it's going to take time, and it's going to be messy, and everything's going to be a lot longer and harder and messier than if the thing were house trained. But eventually it gets house trained, and you're like, thank God that's over. Or it's like bringing a baby home and getting it trained to be on a schedule. Weeks turn into months. And it's slow going, and then like suddenly you round a bend and it's a lot better, or not too much backsliding. It's a pain in the butt, Donna, but you have to do it or you're never going to be able to scale and grow bigger. You just can't. That's where the book E-Myth Revisited comes in, and you can get it on Audible or whatever if you don't have time to read it or whatever. Like read it in a print book or an ebook or something. But that book, E-Myth Revisited, E-Myth Revisited, stands for the principle that too many people work in their business when they should be working on their business, and they should delegate like as much as possible away, or the business won't be profitable. And Donna is very successful and profitable. Or it just can't scale and grow. You're going to hit a ceiling because there's only so much that you can do. And there's only so much that you can do with letting people do like little things. Like it's a baby step in the right direction. You're going to have to bite the bullet. It's going to suck, but you have to house train that puppy. It's going to be a mess, but sooner or later you'll be happy you did. G. Morgan, radio stations give their call letters because they're required to by the FCC, I believe, every 15 minutes. Yeah, but like sometimes on like Sirius radio and stuff like that, you're right, Ginger, you're right. But with Sirius Radio and stuff like that, like sometimes, or Spotify or whatever, even if you pay for like no ads, they're still going to do their own quick little jingle. They are. Sometimes it's their own quick little jingle in 15 seconds or less that talks about like if your package is ready to be up, they give you a special deal to renew, right? The summer deal and whatever, like, and they do it super quick and it's super effective. You don't need a minute. Bonnie McCann says, I just put stuff up on Reels and definitely got more reach. I knew you would have had a lot more likes and engagement from subscribers. A few new email subscribers trickled in. Yay. So Bonnie, congratulations. High five, fist bump for doing that. I really appreciate that. And aloha and congratulations, girl. Because the email list subscribers are huge because those are people that are more likely than not to be qualified buyers now or later. So now you have to make sure that you're keeping up on your email. You may have the automated welcome series that Renee and or I teach about. Renee way more than me, but I still teach it. And I definitely teach it during live streams in the student groups, but you know that. And that might help to get people to turn in their coupons. But now I'm smelling my oils. But that said, make sure that you're doing an email to your list a week where, yes, it can be all value adds sometimes, but sometimes you also want to make sure that you're pushing the coupon and or you're pushing some sort of sale. You know what I teach, a minimum of 2 sales promotions a month, or you're not selling enough and that you're not asking enough, because sales is a probability and statistics thing. And you are not, like, 1 out of 10 should convert if you've got your niche nailed down right. So if your niche, pitch, product, and situation is set up right, your engine's firing on all pistons, then 1 out of 10 should say yes. If you're not getting out in front of enough people to ask, you're never going to make enough money to even be profitable. And that's a crying shame. So I'm not saying Bonnie has a problem with this. I'm just saying that reminded me to tell people. So don't just do Reels and be like, yay, I got really great reach, and then you go away. You're only allowed to do that if you have emergency surgery and then fall and then need more emergency surgery and was strung out on painkillers for a day or two until your body adjusted. That's why I get a pass. But actually I don't, because if I'm on YouTube right now, I probably should be going back to creating Reels. Bad Stacey. So Bonnie says, now I need to be more focused with real content, but I think so far the effort is worth it right now. It's going to be worth it for weeks. It's going to be worth it for weeks. Transformational Healing by Donna says, COVID problem. I can't have anyone coming into my house to do the physical work. Immunocompromised roommate. So teens in the house is it. Yep. I'm trying to outsource some copy work. Yes, Donna, you can totally do that. Did you go to Renee's VA PDF? I think I shared that in one of the groups. Because especially at your level, you should be able to afford someone to do copy overseas. The auto welcome is a lifesaver, says Bonnie. Yes, it is. I now push that sign up with coupon all the time. And you know what? It's nothing personal. Once you've got everything else nailed, you will sell more when you ask more. And the more you do it, this is your niche. They knew they were following or subscribing to a business account. They knew that they got onto the email list of a business. They're not going to be shocked if you sell to them once a week because you're a business and that's what businesses do. And I'm not saying Bonnie does this, I am not at all. But like for people who are like worried about being pushy, that's a lot of women, especially the older you are, the more likely it is that you feel that way because we really weren't socialized to work outside the home at all, depending upon what generation we were in, or it was so transitional. It was rocky. I remember the 90s being all about the women that worked outside the home versus the stay-at-home moms, really, really hard to do. So we don't want to be pushy females. We don't want to be overbearing business owners, but you're a business. You're driving traffic to your business. You have to do business. So, and people might get your coupon and be really excited. They raise their hands to get on your email list, and that's a really great thing. But Nobody's cornered the market on busy. We all have busy lives. They get distracted. That's why I'm saying you have to email your list at least once a week. And sometimes it's going to be a straight up sales email. Sometimes it's going to be a straight up value add. Here's my latest blog post. Here's a link driving you to the blog post that you can see it. And here's a quick hook in terms of why you want to take time out of your busy day to check out that blog post or the latest YouTube video. Or I just posted a Reels on Instagram. Here's a handle just in case you haven't followed me, because people are going to come at you from all sorts of places if you're using the same email sign up link on all these different platforms, right? So make sure that you are cross-pollinating people on all the platforms. But 15-second content, what could you do in 15 seconds? A quick tip that's under 40 words that you say, or it's a visual and you overlay some text on it using the Instagram Story Creator feature to do that. It could be a quick trick. It could be a quick time lapse. I don't want you guys to spend too much time on high production value. On TikTok, it almost never works. They want it to feel more raw, less slick and produced, more organic. Instagram, definitely they have been fatiguing on like the perfect airbrushed feed and everything. That is so over. It had its moment. But I don't know that they necessarily want sloppy jalopy all the time either. But for Reels, that is a very different type of content. It's a different flavor of ice cream, if you will. So that can be more TikTok-like. So for those of you who are like, but I like my high production stuff and it makes me happy and I'm not going to be happy if I don't do at least one of those a week like that, then fine. But then don't tell me that you don't have time to market. Boo! But otherwise, if you want to do that, fine. But what I'm saying is like do something off the cuff. Again, look at my Instagram profile and you will see I was in the chair getting foils and I was like, you know what? Let me do a quick picture of me bebopping and dancing. Because right now it's glitchy and I can't narrate over the music. Fuss and bother. I'm sure they'll have that fixed soon. I'm going to trick it out with some stickers and stuff like that. And some text overlay and stuff on the 15-second reel. And then I wrote the caption and did 30 hashtags. And it did great. And I think that was the one that got me the subscriber. Was me with my heron foils dancing to say so. I mean, really, it don't take much, people. And I'm not young and I'm not thin and I'm not perfect looking. I have facial palsy. If I can do it, you can do it. Stories in Stoneware says, I showed the creation of my giveaway pieces for the month with the Reels. That's cool. Behind the scenes, Maker Monday, Tip Tuesday, Win Wednesday. Is it a win for you because you completed something? Is it a win? I'm running a raffle, get in. Is it a customer with a testimonial that you could superimpose over you dancing because you're so happy you made a customer happy and you superimpose some quick text and you're like, well, Stacey, superimposing quick text, who the heck can read that in 15 seconds? Exactly. You know what it forces them to do? It forces them to watch that particular Reels in a loop. So when they do that, and this is the same thing on TikTok, really, if they have to watch it more times, that Reel is getting more loops or more watch time. More watch time is always good. The algorithm goes, someone's hanging out on that video. It's important. I must push it out to more people. It's keeping them on the platform longer. Good. If somebody has to tap to try and slow down or pause your Reel, that's more interaction. They're touching it. They're engaging with it. That's another data point for the algorithm to surface. And it says, people are trying to slow it down. They're trying to pause it. They're trying to read it. That must mean that the text that's in that Reels is important. I must show this to more people now. This is what happens, right? So if they're tapping on more, they're reading, they're unpacking your caption to read it, that's a data point. So it's 15 seconds, but it's not. Does that make sense? Let me know in the comments down below if that makes sense to you. How do I get music on Reels? You're in Hawaii. They may not have it yet. Not everywhere in the US does. I don't have it in stories either. It disappeared. You're not mainland. They may be working on stuff. How long have you been out of stories? Because that's a little concerning, but they might be doing a whole lot of work. I'm sorry I keep playing with my hair. You should be getting it back. What was that catchphrase for Monday? Yeah, sure, Kelly Faulkner Williams. Maker Monday. So you could do Maker Monday, behind the scenes stuff about the brand leader, which is you. Again, make sure you watch my Branding Basics series, because that alone, you'll be like, whoa, you could tell your creation story possibly in 15 seconds, verbally and through overlays with text. Watch the Branding Basics series for sure on this channel. Maker Monday, Tip Tuesday, Win Wednesday. You could do like Throwback Thursday, depending. You could do Tool Thursday, where either it depends on what you're doing. Are you selling tools? That might be important. Are you selling tools or accoutrement that goes with, I'm sorry, not that I have to worry, but oils? Andrea sells loose tea and mugs and ceramics. So Tool Tuesday could be, anything from like one of those metal tea balls that you put the loose tea in. That could qualify as Tool Tuesday to get a quick 15-second snippet. Oh, by the way, I sell these. Or Throwback Thursday, Fun Friday or Funny Friday. It's a joke. It's something humorous. It's a slice of life that shows you as the brand leader and you're a real person like everyone else. That increases the KLT factor, the know, like, and trust factor that all of my students know I preach all the time. I mentioned it earlier. The more deposits you put into the bank of KLT, the easier the withdrawals will be when you run a sale or a promotion, because they'll know, like, and trust you and your brand more. What else? You could do Soulful or Soul Saturday or Sunday. So the Jewish faith, Saturday is important. The Catholic and Christian faith, Sunday might be important. So if religion has anything to do with who you're selling to, you could slide rule around Soul Saturday or Sunday. Sunday, let's say Saturday is important because you're selling to people of the Jewish faith, like Miss Morgan is. So that could be like Soul Saturday. And then you could have Sunday be like a product spotlight day. Really have a theme for every day of the week and at least get one reel up. I don't think publishing daily is enough. I sure know not publishing daily won't help you as much as it could, even with all this bonus algorithmic reach. I sure do know that. I sure do know that once around every meal shouldn't be that hard. You can definitely show part 1, part 2, and part 3. So as you're working on a product, showing them the stages between each reel, then they're more likely to binge your reels too. Does that make sense? MJ had to switch to a creator account to get music. She couldn't get it on normal business account for some reason. That's odd. That's weird. But still, with the creator account, this is on Instagram for people who are like, is this on TikTok? No. TikTok just simply has the pro account or personal account. That's so weird. You know what, Bonnie? Do you want to try the creator account version of your business account? You'll still get the analytics, just like a business. And you're like, well, then why did they create a separate account? And it really came down to there were influencers that didn't want to call themselves a business, which I think is ridiculous. A few weeks now. Holy moly. Go into the creator account and try. Change your account type to creator. You can do it, and everything shouldn't just disappear on you or anything like that. That's so weird. All right, well, thank you for helping, MJ, Andrea. I appreciate it. I see music on Jan's stories, but I'm not sure if there's something else directly in Instagram. Be careful using stuff that the platform hasn't allowed you to do, because you could get a content strike. See, let's research that. I don't want to lead you down the wrong path. If you're selling, oh, okay, you're saying not that I do now, but maybe in the future. You know what? Let me talk about that in Socialgram Shortcut, and I will share with you that information. Yes, makes perfect sense. Thank you, Kelly. L's elations, but can you sell products with a creator account? I don't want to lose my swipe up feature. No, I know the creators have swipe up features, so congratulations to you for having 10,000 or more followers on Instagram, because that's how you qualify for that. I've never had music on my Instagram account, says Onika. I have it for my business account. I've never had a creator account for Joe's. And we use the music sticker. And that's even with Socialgram Shortcut, that's the account I was using when I showed you guys how to use the music sticker for that lesson. Me neither, Onika. Well, I tell you what, let's talk about this on Friday. Let's talk about this on Friday, and I'll come back with more specific information. MJ's just starting out, so it didn't break anything or hurt anything for her. So she's safe. I wouldn't sweat it, Andrea or anybody else. Bonnie says, thank you. When things like that change, I don't have time. So after 15 minutes, if I can't figure it out, I just move on. Oh, Elle says, I only have 924 followers, but I've been on Instagram since 2012. Oh, okay. That's a bit, my friend. But I thought with swipe up you could only get it at 10,000 and above. Although I will say this, okay? So like I know this for a fact. So if you create an IGTV video, whether it is a replay that you've optimized and publish of a live that you did, an Instagram live that you did, and you publish it on the replay, or it is a video that you just uploaded straight to IGTV, right? Whatever it is. I know that if you create a piece of Instagram story content, you don't need the swipe up feature because they give you the ability to link to an IGTV video in a piece of Instagram story content. Did you know that? Did you know that? I still have it on my business account. Yeah, me too. But MJ lost hers, and that's how she fixed it. I think a lot of things are going to be all wacky, wild Kool-Aid style while they're doing a lot of jerry-rigging in the background because of Reels. The whole thing with TikTok, even before any banning, kind of forced their hand a lot harder and faster than I think they would have liked. Yes, it is true. Google this topic, and you'll see how it affects business accounts. I have the swipe up too. Wow. Good thoughts for your doctor visit. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's on Thursday. So we'll see how fast they want to move me to surgery. They may need more studies. I just want to be out of pain. I made sure I took my pain medication like a good half hour before I started, but it's starting to wear off at 3 hours. All right, so short form Instagram Reels content. Do you guys understand all the different things that you could do in 15 seconds? And if you don't have time enough to say it all, you can say some of it and overlay text on the screen. If you don't know how to do Reels and you've never done TikTok and you're like, Stacey, I need to see it screen by screen, step by step. Later has an account on YouTube, and about a week or so ago, they published a step-by-step guide that shows you screen by screen how to do an Instagram Reels, how to create the video end of it, how to optimize it via Instagram story creator style, and how to even time text when it shows up and disappears if you want to get all fancy like that. You do not have to. Perfect is the enemy of done. Bonnie says, also, I can only do one hashtag in stories. I heard you could say you could do 15. No, with stories, you can do up to 10. With stories, you can do up to 10 hashtags. The first 3 should be the ones that are most important to you. Those get a little extra algorithmic juice. You get up to 10 on a piece of Instagram story content. That means if you create 2 pieces back to back, each individual piece that you publish, even if you publish them one right after another, can have 10, up to 10, not just one. No, there's nothing on Instagram where it's just one. How do you do that? What do you mean how you do that, Bonnie? If you're in the Instagram story creator, there's the hashtag sticker. That can be one of them, and it should be, because you're using a feature on Instagram that is a newer feature and they like that. And then you can use the text writing tool to create hashtags. You could use the text writing tool and then use a keyboard that pops up in the Instagram story creator, and hashtags one of them. The other 9 can be created that way if you want. Yep. You can hide hashtags too. It does not affect their effectiveness. So you can shrink them down really tiny if you want. The sticker one I would show, but you could make it smaller, or you could reposition it depending upon what else is on the screen. You can shrink the other ones very, very tiny and stick them behind the sticker. Or you could change the color of the text so that they blend into the background of whatever it is on your screen. There's more than one way to do it, but people don't have to see all 10 hashtags. And in fact, in most cases, they shouldn't, because then that looks too cluttered. Just do the hashtag. So Andrea's saying from Stones and Stories and Stoneware, just do hashtag in the type section and one is a sticker. MJ says, but apparently not everyone's business account is affected. I think it's a glitch. I really do. Wonder if it matters how many followers you have that you get the music on a business account. No, it doesn't. Share with me in one of the groups if you're finding that out on Google, because I've never seen that. I'm not the great and powerful Stacey, all perfect and stuff, but I'm telling you, I didn't see that. Okay, light bulb, text writer, yes, but use the sticker. Use the sticker. There's one hashtag sticker that you can use for any hashtag you want. But the sticker's a little bit more powerful, so use that for the hashtags is most important for that piece of content. Transformational Healing by Donna. It's sharing my stories from Reels with 30 hashtags. I didn't know it was only 10. No. So you're getting confused, Donna, and that's okay. So Instagram stories, like, yes, you can create a Reels in the stories creator. Let me get my Face ID up. So when you go into the Instagram stories creator screen, on the bottom is your live, then it's story, and then it's Reels. But this is the Instagram story creator area. But if you're creating a story, I got a notification. That is 10 hashtags per piece of Instagram story content. That is the only thing that is limited to 10. But Reels, which is a separate piece of content you can create in there, that's 30 hashtags. Same as a feed post. That's 30 hashtags. Same as an IGTV video. That's 30 hashtags. The only one that's 10 is Instagram stories. That's it. Does that make sense? Bonnie McCann was saying, I was only using the hashtag sticker and then the location sticker and then my own text. Yeah, the location sticker is another one that you could use for one of your 10 hashtags if you like, for sure. Depending upon what you're doing with the content, makes sense. Elzalation, should this hashtag sticker be a small niche hashtag or a bigger one? Almost always, I'm going to tell you to go small niched, because at least you're competitive and at least it's something that your niche is going to be searching on. Remember, your niche doesn't know about you. They don't know about your business, and they may not know your product names. So it's going to be something that they're searching on. And that needs to be something that you are likely, if they're going to the hash, because they can follow hashtags on Instagram, right? And you can look up a hashtag on Instagram and see the whole feed of everything that's been sorted, stored, or indexed with that particular hashtag on Instagram. So you can, switch over containers here. Excuse me. I must hydrate. Ah, that's so much colder too. That's great. Yeah, always go small, niched, and something that you can be competitive for. That's where I find Flick to be invaluable, because whatever hashtag you give it, it's going to give you a whole report on related hashtags that your competitors are using. Or even if they're not officially competitors, they could be like creators who are, trying to attract the same audience just for content consumption, if not for sale. Those are the hashtags that you use. And whether it's in Instagram stories, it's in a feed post, it's an IGTV, good Lord, it's a reel. Always start with the most important hashtags that are more likely to draw paying customers' attention towards you. So that's typically going to be your niched hashtag. But sometimes people say niched hashtags, and it's like, whoa, wait a minute. Is it a hashtag that describes your niche? Is it a hashtag that's an industry standard? Because unless they're going to understand that lingo or be searching on it, then it's useless to you. That's a head fake. You want to, that's a red herring in terms of search power. You want what they're searching on that has to do with the interest that your products and or services can help address. Does that make sense? Candace Wood said, music for Instagram story has never been an option for me. Depending upon where you are in the world, even in the United States, it's not. And I don't know why. Been using a business account for less than a year, but more than 6 months. I don't think the time has anything to do with it. It's not like something that you earn like the swipe up feature typically is for people. So that shouldn't matter. But yes, there are some places in the United States and definitely some places in the world that don't have the music sticker. And don't get all obsessed with that, because the music sticker is only going to help you in an Instagram story piece of content. But there's so many other options for Instagram story content that it doesn't matter. And people like Instagram story content so much that 85% of Instagram users will consume 85 to 100% of your story content, no matter what it is. So, if you don't have the sticker right now, keep checking back, make something else. Go where the attention is, get the attention. Right? Because then you're more likely to start putting deposits into the bank of KLT so that you can do a withdrawal, right? And get the sale. Transformational Healing by Donna says, right. So I make a reels, share it as a story at the same time. Oh, yes. Oh, does it? I did not notice that, Donna. Now I get it. I'm a loser. Actually, let me do it the other way because it's reversed on a desktop. Stacey is a loser. Sorry, Donna. Come follow me. Yes, I get it. So it's taking the 30 hashtags there. Oh, the only thing that I can tell you about that is that I suppose it makes sense. I didn't even bother to look on my stories. So I'll have to, because I didn't save any of them as highlights. But the next piece of Reels content that I create, I'm going to look at that. I'm not saying you're wrong. Why I think they'll allow that to be an exception to the rules, again, who are they trying to take out? TikTok. They are going to kill the fatted calf for you. Kill the fatted calf for you. So I love that. You're right, Donna. Business account music isn't available, but it was for us. My goodness, how weird. It was for Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill. When I shot that lesson, for those of you who are students of mine in Socialgram Shortcut, when I shot that lesson, that was from the Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill account, and we are a business account. We are not a creator account. So now, just for fun, let me see. Let's go into story. I don't know. I'll just take a picture. Okay. That's an awful picture. I don't care. I'll go into stickers. Music. I have it. Nope. I have it. I have it for the Stacey Storino account as well. And that was a business account that I also set up. So I don't know what to tell you. It could be where you are in the United States, a state, territory, or a holding that has something to do with royalty agreements for this music for commercial purposes versus personal. It could be where you are in the world. I have it for both Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill, and I hadn't bothered to look for the Stacey Storino account, that poor dummy account that I'm finally starting to populate. Oh my goodness. So that's not entirely true. It may be true for you, Kelly Faulkner Williams. I know you know what your reality is. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm saying that, like, I have it for 2 different accounts that I manage. One way more than the Stacey Storino account. MJ says, I seem to only reach actual followers with my stories, even with hashtags. My feed posts with the same hashtags as further reach. That is, so overall, you're right. The only thing that I would say with stories is that Instagram itself, every 24-hour cycle or day, it has a story of its own for each hashtag, even location-based hashtags. And it curates posts that, even for obscure hashtags or even for obscure areas, get like good engagement or enough data point signals for the algorithm to surface that it will curate your story piece of content into its main story for that hashtag for that day. So, and then that helps you in terms of search with stories. So it is technically possible for you to be found and search through your story content. Otherwise, if it gets little engagement, nothing too sexy, and it ain't bringing sexy back like the leather, then your followers will be the ones to see it for sure. But it is possible. You could get suggested out into the Instagram curated story for that feed. All righty. Maybe you're grandfathered in. That could be possible. That could be. But otherwise, MJ's absolutely right. Elzalations, got this from Google. Elsewhere, while businesses are able to create reels, much like on Instagram stories, business accounts won't have access to music and reels due to licensing restrictions. So weird, because I have it for both Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill and for Stacey Storino. Weird for both reels and stories. Weird. Maybe they're testing things. I don't know. Weird. But yes, licensing restrictions having to do with royalties. Absolutely. I'll go look. Maybe it's blacking them out. I can't look right now. It's fine. TikTok has acknowledged Instagram Reels as a direct competitor or copycat product. It definitely is. As CEO Kevin Mayer put it in a blog post last week about 7 days ago. Wow. I have music for a business account too, says Andrew from Stories and Stoneware. Yeah. It's weird. It's very scattershot, and I think they're just like testing stuff out, and or it could have everything to do with where we are. There's not such a licensing restriction or an issue with royalties, and so they let it go in our areas. Because I had this for Joe's, back January, February of this year, and I've had it. I just found that I had it now for the dummy account. It's not a dummy account anymore. I am going to start publishing there. Oh my God. How do you know what Instagram is pushing each day? For me to do this the quickest, how to find Instagram curated story content. Spell it right, Stacey. Why you need to care about Instagram's curated feed, right? So hold on. I'm just going to copy this, and I think I can share. No, that's a feed. That's not, damn it. Sorry. That's not what I meant. Okay, curated it. No, that's feed. Darn it. Instagram curates story content by hashtag. I'll find it. What is curated content? Oh, I will find it and share it in the student groups. I don't want to delay too much on the live now with that. I'll find the article that walks it through and shows you how to find it. Can you tell I don't really go looking for it? Maybe Instagram will give you either one feature or another, but not both. Who knows? Maybe business profiles without swipe up have music. Who knows? That's weird. Also, unless you're grandfathered in, I don't know how you have it because you're under 10,000. That's something that a lot of my students are just like, I don't have the swipe up feature. You don't need it. Even people who have the swipe up feature, they've been out during their lives and their YouTube videos that it's just a convenience. Most of their sales come through the DMs and not so much during the swipe up feature. You can drive somebody to another piece of content, but meh. You can do it just as effectively in other sectors of Instagram as well. A feed post with a caption, a blog post type caption. You could do it in an Instagram, an IGTV. I'm sure you could do it in a Reels now. You could do it during a live. Thank you. I didn't even know this was a thing. Yeah, you're not on Socialgram shortcut. And I'd put it there. Oh, well, music won't sell my product, so I'll just carry on. Yeah, like seriously, it is cool. So I can understand why everybody would be like, oh, I want it. Do I have it? Do I not have it? It's cool. Your Reels can still sell. So go to my Stacey Storino Instagram account and you will see that I have 2 Reels that are in the feed. They will be the ones that don't have the IGTV symbol. They'll have the newer Reels symbol on them. And one of them is just me talking. One of my Reels is just me talking. There's no music. And so it's found in my feed. And it's just me talking. That's all it is. And so you can turn the volume on and off.
It's under Stacey Storino on Instagram or YouTube.
Okay, so seriously, like you can just do that. And meanwhile, I have a caption that I probably could have gone longer on and all my hashtags. And it was 14, 15 seconds. And it drove traffic. And that's that. So it's very effective. Where there's a will, there's a way. All right. Do you guys have good ideas now that you've heard me talk about it in terms of short form video content marketing? I want to make sure that I leave everybody in a good place. Can you repurpose things between TikTok and Instagram? I would. I am hearing that when the logo is removed, it should have decent reach. But don't kid yourself. The algorithm can pick up where the source code is. If it can tell that it wasn't created in Instagram and it wasn't created completely in app, and it came from TikTok no less, I'm sure they're not going to love you repurposing the content. That said, this is such a golden window of opportunity. I'm not saying you'll get punished, you'll get shadow banned or anything like that. I think that it just won't get as stellar reach. They're desperate to destroy TikTok. You'll still get reach. Yes, thank you for all of your advice and support. Cool. So I want you guys to try, at least as a stretch goal, to get up to 3 Reels created a day on Instagram. If you're not on TikTok, don't sweat it right now. But the thing I'm going to tell you is once you've created a Reel, you can create a TikTok and vice versa. So that's the good news. And whether it's music or you're narrating, and if you're narrating something and you ran out of time on the 15 seconds, you could definitely have text overlaid with the text tool in the stories creator, right? To use that feature, the text feature. It could be to finish whatever it is you didn't have the time to say in 15 seconds, or you could be driving somebody to a feed post or driving them to your link in bio, right? Don't forget, you're creating content. It should have a call to action that leads to a conversion of some kind. I think TikTok shouldn't have existed. All right. We now have Instagram Reels. Who cares? This has been amazing. Thank you, Stacey. You are welcome. All right. So it's been nearly 3.5 hours. Make sure that you subscribe and that you hit the bell notification. I'm going to be here Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This was just a celebratory. I hit 1,000 subs on YouTube as of last night. It's more now. And make sure that you smash that like button. Please, please, please. It helps me out more than you know. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.